Whoa! Oh, look at that! Oh no, I'm backing off now. I don't want none of that.
I haven't done that in a while.
No, I saw that head movement. Like, no, I don't want another Kyle Wong. No. How you doing, brother? Welcome.
I'm doing all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the Dojo Army for having me also.
Yeah, Movie Dojo Army slowly trickling in right now. We got Michael Gonzalez. We got Ballin. Let's start the ruckus.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. They'll slowly be coming in right now as we get it started. But today is a special day because I got a person of prestige and badassity here. I got to add both. Right?
No, I appreciate that.
An amazing head movement. That's right. That's it. I'm gonna. That's it. You're now my Sifu sensei. I'm gonna pay you monthly. I'm gonna take lessons. You're gonna show me what's going on. All right. We got Mike Swift in the house. We got Jake Hall. He says, "What's up, PhatSamuraiGuy and Kyle?" That's right.
How's it going, Jake?
All right. 12 badasses here already. There's slowly but surely they start swarming in.
Oh, good. Don't
badass ninjas. That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Get this crack in here. Okay, so how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. It's been definitely a busy past couple months, especially at the start of this year. And now it's like March. Right? Oh, great. What am I supposed to do now?
Right.
I'm still trying to find time to sleep.
I know. It's really cool that you had you took some time out of your busy schedule to come in and on the show.
No, I appreciate
hang out with us and the Movie Dojo Army. But this is cool, man. So how long have you been in the filmmaking business?
In the actual professional side, I've been doing almost 12 years now, and filmmaking wise, at least 12 years also, like independent side of making my own things and everything else. And they all coincide together. So basically 2009 is like the high point of you start off this. And then 2016 was like, okay, now you're really focusing on this. And,
right.
And trying to, I won't say balance. It was more or less like, here, this is what you're going to try and do. Let's see if this actually does build the avenue that I want. And
right.
And
what's some of your inspirations? What inspiration and motivations to get in the film industry?
Definitely the film industry was or getting into
being an actor, filmmaker, all that stuff.
It was definitely when I was really young, watching Bruce Lee growing up. That's definitely the thing. Yep, there we go. And I think around age 7 was when I saw Jackie Chan's Super Cop, and a friend of mine actually said to me that's the worst kind of example to want to be an action star. But I was I didn't want to really be an action star. And actually, I have it right here with me. When I turned 2000, I think it was in 2005, I finally watched SPL 1.
Yes.
And I just said, you know what? I want to make a film like this.
Yes.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
The action is really well done. And the cinematography was really beautiful, that it showed everything that it needed to be. And then during university and everything else, I was just I want to work in the film industry. So in 2009, I actually made my very first film, which no one's ever going to see. No one's ever going to see that film because it's that horrible. As much as so many friends of the cast and crew are just yeah, remember you made that film? I'm hey, don't bring this up.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta get your feet wet. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. And somehow I did it through the right channels of going through the city, doing it through the film liaison and managers of everyone, just trying to get permits and everything else. That led to me actually working in the industry itself, and
Right.
I started learning to be a PA in locations. And after 8 years, I was like, okay, I should really, really, really want to be doing something. And then I think in between there, I was trying to finish my degree, and then I started making my own web series, and it slowly started like becoming of like, okay, do I want to make a film about this and make a film about this? And then it always started with, all right, just grab a camera, do it with your friends. I was like, great. And it was like at that standpoint of like understanding. Understanding how does this work? How does this work? And
you're learning as you go.
Exactly.
That's awesome though.
And it's around 2012 that I really, really knew that, okay, let's try the YouTube route, which was like it was before like how everything on YouTube was just like very, very like all no holds barred basically before every guideline and everything else. And then when we started like, this was like when the raid started coming out, and I wanted to do fight choreography like that, or even like how the Yip Man movies were influencing on that part. And then exactly the chain punching in all my earlier stuff, and I was just like, and the roll punch, I was just like, this was like definitely a stylistic choice at the time. And then after 2015 to 2017, when we started understanding with my old crew that here's the type of films that we were making at that time, and now after 2017, it was like, okay, I need to focus on something more serious and everything else. And and now it's like, okay, now I'm understanding everything. It's not like, do you like this? Do you like what's this coming out? Do you like this coming out? Do you like this coming out? I was like, I don't like any of this. As much as I took all these classes and everything else, and as one friend pointed out, she was like, you fell asleep through every film class, and yet you passed, and you're a filmmaker. How is that even possible? I went, that's actually funny.
You're brilliant. That's it. You're just brilliant.
Sure, let's go with that.
If I was in those classes and it was multiple choice, I'd be like ABBA, ABBA, ABBA. That'd be it.
And it's sometimes C. It's like, let's just see. And then it's like, there we go. And then.
But the cool thing is that you're making the effort. You fell asleep. You still passed the classes. You still showed up to the dance, though.
Yes, exactly.
That's what's important. You showed up. Passed those filmmaking classes, and now, you're on your way. So let's talk a little before we get into Warrior Season 2. By the way, we're best friends now because you like Killzone.
Oh yes.
I don't know if you knew that we were already best friends now. That's it.
Well, and I gotta add this because like that shares my #1 spot. Wilson Yip's other version of SPL Paradox is #1 in my books because it's like simplicity at its finest.
Yes. That's the one Tony Jaa was in?
Tony Jaa was in for like a slight moment, but Louis Koo is the main character.
There you go. There you go. And I think they call it Killzone 3 over here, right?
Yeah, which is so weird.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
It was.
That was good. That was really, really good. Wilson Yip, man.
Oh yeah. Like Wilson Yip doing contemporary films like that is just beautiful and simple, and the cinematography who he gets for his cinematography, he knows how to do it, and that's the type of films that I really like.
Yeah, and Killzone blew me away. Well, it was SPL at the time.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard. We got other people coming in. They're coming in. The badass is watching.
Oh, there we go.
And liking the video, guys. We appreciate it. The cool thing was, the crazy thing was, I don't know if you've seen me mention this in my other videos, but I didn't know. I don't know where my buddy got this bootleg, but I guess there's certain bootlegs that people put out there.
Yeah,
that have happy endings.
Yes, my cousin actually had that one version of the first SPL.
Yes,
and I watched it.
Saw. Yeah. So I still was blown away, especially the alley fights. Might be one of the best fight scenes in history.
Definitely.
Did you know that was Donnie Yen's challenge to Tony Jaa? Did you know that?
Yes, I did, because it was like 2003. Here comes Tony Jaa with Ong Bak and TYG, and then they were saying that Hong Kong films were dying out, and then Donnie Yen was like, you know what, screw that, I'm bringing this back, and he brought the MMA element and just his ferocity of the Hong Kong style.
Yeah.
And that was like the evolution of Hong Kong style. And now it's now like, here's that. And I saw your reaction to Raging Fire, which I am definitely hyped for, but questionable because of like how Donnie Yen, it's been a decade of Donnie Yen questionable movies.
Right. He's been up and down. Yeah.
Because everyone that knows Donnie Yen, like, how many people remember Iceman?
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate it. And I love Donnie Yen, but I have to be honest, I hate that movie.
I hate that movie too.
I hate that movie.
Like, we can go into in depth how much Iceman was just like,
yeah,
this exists.
I don't even know what happened. What happened with that movie? Oh, but the we still love the movie, but the whole happy ending, we were like, oh, okay, I guess that's we just accepted it. We were just like, oh, I guess that's how the movie ended. And then when Dragon Dynasty released the movie here in the States as Killzone, I bought it right away because I love it. And when we watched it, we were like, holy shit! When we got to the ending, saw the real ending.
Yes,
we were like, oh my god! Like we were like freaking out. Like I grabbed Lady Fat Blood, my wife, and I was like, holy shit, what did that just happen? Did that just happen? It made for a better movie though.
Definitely, and
it's sad, but it's still made for a better movie experience.
And that's what I like about some movies that have that realistic approach in a sense of like, not everything is all happy ending, which is most Hollywood movies. Exactly, right? And what I remember watching through YouTube that was like, there's this ending. I was like, what? And then I finally buy the Blu-ray of it. I'm like, this still hits hard. And yet, and that's what I liked about SPL, one, that it really gets the audience going from start to finish of investing with such little time compared to like most other movies which over-explain everything. This one just really gets you sympathetic with each character, even the villains. And
Sammo Hung is just Sammo Hung is in top form in this movie.
Definitely.
And Sam and Yam, like everybody's just phenomenal. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Definitely, I agree.
The music's good too.
Like just everything about the soundtrack that Chen Guangwing actually makes in every film, but definitely when he hits hard on SPL and Paradox, it just, you get that right emotion through everything, especially with an orchestral feel.
Yeah. So sorry, chat. This rest of this stream is we're gonna be talking about Killzone for 5 hours.
Yes,
5 hours straight. We're gonna. But I'm glad you're a fan of the film as well as me and and a lot of the Movie Dojo Army. They as well. So going back over your career here, you getting your feet wet and experimenting, making these badass short films.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about The Line here.
Oh, The Line. How should I put that?
Unless you don't want to talk about The Line.
I can talk about it. The Line was like, so here's what I could say about The Line. I remember talking with one friend about how I approach each film. Yeah. And the one prior to The Line was Vendetta. And someone asked me, like, what was your inspiration? I was like, I was going through a breakup, and they said, oh yeah, this is like a definite like representation of you going through a breakup. And I was like, oh boy, that's kind of makes sense. So what was The Line to me? I was like, The Line was almost like it was a definite fuck you to some people.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Like, just I will say certain local people, like, who I did not agree with, and always like thought like, oh yeah, you're just doing this. I was like, okay, we're gonna show you something that we could actually do. So fuck you.
Nice. And so that's motivation, though.
It is.
I mean, it sucks. You have to bring it from negativity, but the thing is like it's still sometimes that still comes out in a positive manner.
Yeah.
You know, you use that fuck you attitude. Yeah. And it motivates you to do something better.
And I gotta say, because like your intro and everything else, it's almost like bringing back, as most people liked it, it brought back like that early 2000s era of like WWE, and all martial arts movies and metal were all mixed together. Like someone stated to me during one viewing, saying that it brought back like how you watch Jet Li's The One. I was like, okay, I appreciate that sentiment, especially with the ending of just like bringing one of my favorite bands, one of their songs in, and we played it during the ending. I was like, "Hey, we're doing this short film. Is it okay if we use one of your songs?" He's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah." On Facebook Live, he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Just use it. You can pay me when you
Nice.
you can pay me when you get paid, but other than that, just use it."
Yeah. Nice.
And I was like, "Shit, that's awesome."
Yeah.
But
Well,
it was.
I just wanted to let chat know about the line. Is there a way we can watch this, or is this still coming, or is this still in the works?
The line is definitely out on my Vimeo stream. I will send the link to you to actually see it. It's actually on my Vimeo.com/Black Ice 140 Productions.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a huge thing like right there.
But
that
I
one's
just
out.
wanted to highlight it, man, because these screenshots, I was like, dude, this looks fucking badass. You know, it looks badass from these screenshots here.
Yeah,
so I was just
and we actually tried to do something very different, which some of my stunt guy friends are like, "Would you really fight like this with two kukri knives and two karambit knives?" I was like, "It's something I've never seen before." Okay,
yeah.
like I wanted to do something, and we did it in a kitchen, which was like an ode to Raid 2 at a time, so, because everyone always like copies and emulates something from another film, and I was like, I kind of want to copy what was in the Raid 2, but actually try this
Do
kind of
something
feel.
different.
And then exactly,
it looks like you're having fun. It looks like you're having fun.
It was a lot of fun, and especially with all the blood being sprayed on me every time I had to come onto set. And all I can say is that one was fun, but looking back at it now, I wasn't really proud of what was going on behind the scenes, which I can't really talk about as much. But it wasn't my proudest film.
Okay.
But
that's all good.
Yeah.
I still wanted to highlight it for chat so they can
no, of course. I appreciate that. And
and then, you know, you were also a part of projects of Curse of Chucky. You're a part of which is still one of the best Chucky films out there. Goon. You were part of projects of Goon, and did you handle the fight choreography for Goon? Or
I did. I was a PA at the time, so I did none of the stunts of these ones because I was more of the assistant director side of it. And
nice. Okay.
All I could say is like seeing how most productions are really organized and everything like that. I implement most of that organization into my productions to make sure that everything goes right and everything just runs smoothly, because I really want everyone to have clear communication. Like, we're doing this scene today. We're doing this, and this is how this is the type of thing that we're gonna do here. And it was almost like doing my own short films and like fight scenes actually helped me organize and even communicate with my cast and crew of exactly what was going on. So if anyone wants to know how to actually get a film crew and everything else, start a fight scene. Just emulate your first fight scene, organize all the shots, and then somehow you'll get a crew.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
No, it isn't.
It's not easy. It's not
especially now that as reality sets in, there's a pandemic, but at the same time there is clear communication that is needed and everything else. And for what I've learned over the time, and I thought this was like a thing that I never knew. It was like solidified by Gareth Evans on the Raid 2. I was like, oh, this is a thing. I appreciate this, where pre-vising fight scenes was definitely a good tool. And there are shows that actually like do it on the spot if they didn't have time with the actors, and they didn't have all this time with the actors to prep them like in boot camp or fight camp. That's why I praise Warrior, where they had both that time where they actually did boot camp with the actors, pre-visit, but also like while not just pre-visiting, they actually like worked with the production designer of like, okay, do we have this accessible? Can we break this? Can we do this? Can we do this? We need to have this. And that made it all like work just like Hong Kong style does it. And sure, there's times where certain shows like probably like John Wick actually did something like that too, especially with 8711 having the whole market on like knowing how action works for them.
Right.
And that's I want to say I want to get there, but at the same time, it's when you're really getting there, it's like, yeah, it's still a climb. But all I can say is we were lucky in our latest project, which it's been a year. It's been a year now since we filmed my last film last year called Night Watch.
Right.
And it was like we had 2 months, so literally last January and February, to train the actors, do a fight camp, get them to understand the characters and everything else, even previs all of our fight scenes around it, and then even the small action scenes. And then when we started shooting, like literally today, last year, for the next 13 days, we got everything done the way it's supposed to be, and we were so happy and so proud that we got it done before lockdown.
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I wanted to highlight these, that you were part of these projects, because I enjoy Curse of Chucky, and Goon is just so fun.
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen Goon 2. Is it good?
Goon 2 is like that sequel that it exists, but at the same time, it's just like
you don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sadly.
And it shows also on your IMDb page that you were assistant director for Run.
Yes.
The recent film that came on Hulu, and I'm hearing nothing but really good things about Run right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's definitely done by the same director that did Searching. Really nice, cool guy, really laid back, and really has a vision. And he knew exactly what he wanted to do with this one. And like learning how, like, of course they don't shoot everything chronologically, but the fact is it was like a really big mystery of how it would all come together, especially finally watching the film. And I was like, okay, this is really a nice thriller, a nice, really Hitchcockian thriller throwback.
I need to watch it. I heard nothing but good things about it.
I won't say any more than that.
Okay. But congratulations, man. Moving on up there as assistant director. That's fucking badass. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, now back to Killzone for the next 5 hours.
There we go.
So we are here. Woo! Let's do the Bruce warm up here. Let's the Bruce warm up. There you go. Yeah.
Yep. This right here. Doing the wing, like really ready.
We are going to talk about, and this is spoilers, guys, but it's okay. If you haven't seen it, it's fine. Still hang out and hear what we have to say, because we are about to talk about one of the greatest, most badass martial arts themed shows I've seen in years.
Yes.
Years. I honestly can't remember the last time I mean, because I have not seen Into the Badlands. People tell me Into the Badlands is good. But that's a totally different like vibe, genre.
Yeah. Into the
That's
Badlands.
like a mixture of genres, isn't it? That's like
it's like right? It was like post-apocalyptic and like Western, but I remember talking to someone who was a martial arts film historian, and like how they want to approach the martial arts and everything else in the story. Like they said, is it going to be all flare and flashy, or is it going to actually be grounded? And they said it was going to be flash and flare. And then I remember watching it. It did compel me at that time, but then when AMC really lost faith in it, that's when I lost interest in it. I was just like, okay. And then everyone started telling me, watch Cobra Kai, watch Wu Assassins. I'm like, I watched one episode of Wu Assassins. I'll leave it at that.
I have not watched Wu Assassins yet. I did hear bad things about it. I will give it a shot though, because my girl Catherine Winnick's in it, so I got to represent. I got to represent Blackerthorpe Vikings. All I can say is some other guy named Iko Uwais is in it too. I don't know. Yeah.
I will say this, and I mentioned this to our mutual friend Lee at Film Combat Syndicate. I actually said, and I know I'm gonna get flack from a lot of people.
Okay,
I've never worked with Kyle ever.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all fun.
I will say, it's like when I watched it for the first time, I was like, okay, you know how Donnie Yen had Iceman? This is Iko Uwais' Iceman here.
Oh, ouch! Oh no! Oh no!
So if people want to understand what that means, you're gonna have to like literally turn your brain off for an hour and 40 minutes of Iceman, and then you'll understand.
How about don't watch Iceman? Don't even.
You can do that. Avoid that, and avoid its part 2 also.
Yeah, go back to Ewan Bew's and Ewan Wah's Iceman Cometh. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. So we do get some fans here of Warrior. Dog Soldier says yes, it's good.
Oh yeah.
We got some fans here. Tazlum is a badass.
Oh yeah.
He is. That's another best friend of mine. You know, I'm just declaring it. He doesn't know this, but I'm just best friend.
Of course, like seeing how Joe Taslim came from like the Raid and then finally going into Fat Fury 6 and then going into what was it? I was only in the background. I was seeing that. But just seeing how he went into that and then finally coming into Warrior as Leong and then finally becoming Bihan Sub-Zero, that will be something to see when he portrays
and he
Sub-Zero.
he was also good in The Swordsman.
Oh yes, The Swordsman.
But Joe Taslim's on his way up, man.
Oh yeah, like, he's really getting there.
He is up there. My best friend. Yeah.
Yes.
But Warrior season 1.
Yes.
If you don't mind, well, see, you've been reviewing each episode yourself on your end as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I have to really go back to like when I first watched this. So back when it was like 2019, I was actually working on a series called Tales from the Loop, which is on Amazon right now. That's a plug.
Hey, plug it.
Yeah. So there was actually one, and I knew that Warrior was coming out, and I just remembered like that day, like on set, I was like, I'll get to it. And there was actually one actress that was actually from Warrior that actually guest starred on it. And she actually played the younger version of Mai Ling on it.
Okay.
In episode 9. And she and I we were talking about how she went back and forth to South Africa to film it and everything else, and how everyone was awesome. And then that I really had to sit down and watch it. And I saw like one fight scene and like on YouTube, and I was just like questioning. I was like, okay, something's off. But then I decided to give it one shot. Yeah. So I watched the first episode back in 2019, and I just remember watching the first episode. I'm like, it's getting there, but I don't know how I feel about it. Then I left it alone for like however long, and I find out that season 2 came up. And then I started researching the history again. I was like, was this supposed to be Bruce Lee's one show that was supposed to be his own show, but then they turned it into Kung Fu, and I found out that whole history. I was like, yep, this was supposed to be Kung Fu, but it wasn't.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, it was insane. And then I started watching the first episode where I started really looking at it and going like, okay, so he's going to try and find his sister throughout the whole series. First episode, he finds the sister. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, shit. I totally was wrong, because usually most series would just drag that out, drag that thread out. But the thing was, it's like his sister doesn't want to go back, and
the twist.
It was a twist, and she's fine being this gangster, the gang leader Leo Longzi's wife, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm not going back. You should go back." And then seeing how like Assam actually just stays in San Francisco trying to figure out what the fuck am I gonna do, and that's when I realized, holy shit, this is actually going in depth of all of Bruce Lee's philosophies, like just every little thing is historical in the show, and that's what really sucked me in, and I wanted to keep going of like, how does Assam really go into it? And this is where
the story got you. It pull you in.
And this is where it resonates for a lot of people, because Bruce Lee was a philosophy major, and I will also state that I am not a philosophy major. I am not a historian. I could go on Wikipedia and Google and find all this stuff, but
that's me.
But the truth is, it was interesting to see like the whole philosophy and theme of this whole series. Whether I'm right or not, it is like trying to find one's purpose, and you see that through Assam. Like in the first season, and then in the second season, it gets really in depth with it. Right. And I just love how that show really resonates in that kind of depth and feel of just resonating for a lot of people, because you see a lot of things happen in the series that actually resonate now. And what I remember watching the first episode again during that time, and I remember that what was it? Which I slightly have to get political, but I won't get too political.
No, that's all good.
there was a scene where Longzi and Mai Ling are talking about how things were getting bad in bed, and then like not in bed with them, but just in they were talking like pillow talk, and she said, and Longzi says, "Us Chinese need to stick together." And I was like thinking, this show was made in 2017 and then finally aired in 2019. And what happened in 2019 was the Hong Kong protests.
Right.
And I just remember watching that. I'm like,
oh boy,
exactly. I was like, okay,
but you've done a little bit of the breaking down the backstory of the first season. Can you do a quick recap for Chad who hasn't seen it yet?
So first season one. So Assam comes from China to find his sister. In the first episode, once he comes to San Francisco, he shows off his skills after beating up a bunch of immigration guards, and he's already inducted into the Hop Way, the biggest notorious gang in San Francisco Chinatown. After that, he finds out that there's a rival gang known as the Long Z, which he tries to figure out where his sister is, and he goes to a toys brothel, who's the main madam of the whole Chinatown district. And somehow someone heard about like who Assam's looking for, and then the Long Z come in, try and start shit, and then next thing you know, Assam beats them down, and then they go throughout this whole like he finally finds out who his sister is and where she is, being the Long Z wife of the whole gang.
Right.
And then after that, in between all that, you find out there's Mayor Blake, who's really pushing for the Chinese Exclusion Act, which is literally an actual piece of history that really relegated all Chinese not to come here from 1887 to, I think, closer to almost after the Second World War, if I'm correct. And that is like, and that is what everyone says was like, yeah, this is not what we're proud of in American history. And I was like, yeah. And I'm Canadian, and we had our own thing too that actually lasted until like almost after 1970s, I think, where there was like a Chinese Exclusion Act in Canada too.
Oh wow, so, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like Canadian and American like acts definitely like shared like certain things, and it was insane. So you follow Assam going through all these, like, working with the Hop Way, trying to get his sister to like understand that this is all the bad things, but then this Mai Ling, the sister, actually like ends up becoming the leader of the Long Z, and then trying to what's it called? Let's see, trying to build an alliance with another rival gang to control the opium trade.
Right.
And then you have two police officers also, which is Bill O'Hara and Lee. And it's the typical veteran police officer and the young righteous one.
Right.
Solving cases where there's a swordsman involved who's actually a toy, spoiler alert, because a toy is actually fighting for the Chinese people. But of course she knows that she can't be the only one to do it all the time, because you have the Irish actually beating up all these Chinese workers taking the jobs. And then the one leading all the Irishmen is Dylan O'Leary, who I still don't know if this is right or not, if he was actually based off of Dennis Kearney, who actually was a leader of the Working Man's Party of California, and who actually was like pushing slogans like "the Chinese must go," and you have also like
that guy, that actor, he's pretty badass himself.
Oh yeah,
he was. Yeah, his I forgot his name, but he I'll go back to his name later.
I think it's Dean Jagger.
I think so, but he was in a vampire hunting movie called Corbin Nash.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was pretty badass in that. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's Corbin Nash. But yeah, he's. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. Like really great storytelling. There's the political side of it.
Yes.
There's the let's see what's going on in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Side of it. And I didn't expect any of this. I just expected a fight show.
Yeah,
Good guy fight bad guy next episode. And what we got with Warrior is like
something more than that. Definitely something more than that, because that's what I expected at times, and that's, lack of a better term, that's what the most general audience would think. It's like, it's just a fight show. It's like, no, it's much more than that.
Yeah,
it's really goes into so many themes of so many like
gray
philosophies and everything, gray areas that no one really wants
on this show.
Exactly, exactly. Because
nobody's perfect in this show. Nope, maybe Lee, but no, Lee has his faults later. Which
definitely Lee has his faults later.
But let's jump into season 2. In my opinion, I really liked season 1. I told everybody about it. I like the fight scenes in season 1.
Yes,
but I was not expecting season 2's fight scenes to blow season 1 out of the water.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It completely blows season 1's fight scenes out of the water.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In my opinion.
No, I definitely agree, especially when it gets to season 2. So season 2 starts off with a recap where Assam actually lost a fight that costed the Hopway to lose some of their property.
Yep, he lost to Joe.
And then the Hopway told him, yeah, you can't come back. And after episode 10, he finally understands that, okay, I'm going to try and fight for the Chinese, because he sees what Leary is doing. And he joins Atoy in her purpose of like helping the Chinese people. So season 2, it actually starts off with Assam still looking for that purpose. And he's like in these fight clubs trying to understand why is he doing it and everything else. And what happens next is he and Young Jun actually go into business together, like a side business of stealing opium, because of how Mai Ling has been taking over the opium business and selling it for undercutting, while her business partner Singh of the Feng Hai, they're actually just trying to cut out everything to make it theirs. So there's like a lot of internal struggle between the Hopway, the Feng Hai, and the Longzi, and they're all like trying to kill each other, while there's a lot of almost like unrest with Blake and his assistant mayor Buckley that are really pushing for like this Chinese Exclusion Act. And that's like, the sad part is that really gets very repetitive at the same time, but you find out that Buckley, spoiler alert, actually becomes the mayor because
go ahead and let's let everybody know what happens to this character and what led up to this.
So Mayor Buckley has been always like, he had this political stance of like, yeah, I believe in this, but then when a senator comes in who wants to be president, he wants Buckley to make Blake like change your stance right now so I could get votes. So Blake actually changes his political stance of, okay, no more Chinese labor. We're doing that. This is an American town and everything else, which kind of sounds very familiar in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Sorry to the U.S. people. But in that stance, like Penny, his wife, has been like had an affair with Assam, and she kind of understood like how everything's been going in terms of the Chinese population. And then when she helped out her father's steel mill, her father was inadvertently killed by Leary during a raid in the season 1 finale. So she took up the mantle of running the whole business. And then what happened is she needed protection from Leary's men from attacking the Chinese coolies. So she hires Assam and the Hopway, and then Leary finds out about this. And there's also Penny's sister. So if I'm going everywhere, I apologize, everyone.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Because this is where it's all connecting. This is like all these subplots from season 1 start connecting all together.
Right.
So what happens is Assam starts using Penny in a sense of like hiding all his opium stash from Father Jun into the steel mill business, while she's using him to protect the business. And then when Sophie, Penny's sister, has been falling for Leary, she starts understanding his purpose of like, yeah, I could see why all the Irish workers are losing all this work, so I support this. And in a sense of act of terrorism, she goes and tells Leary like, there's this entrance, let's blow this up. So she actually inadvertently helps blow up her father's business, and then that gets ousted by by Penny.
Now, I this second season,
Yeah,
I'm giving it 5 stars, right?
Oh yeah, I agree.
But any negatives or things that you think, well, they could have did that a little differently, throw that in there too while you're talking about it. But the character of Sophie, she has a purpose. This character right here is what we're talking about right now. Okay, she has a purpose for the show. There is a purpose to her character.
Yes.
I couldn't fucking stand this character. I hated this character. I hated this character. And you know what? Even this character, I understand her motivations and why she's trying to be independent and because she's got a horrible husband here. He's terrible. So I understand her part of it, but sometimes her character kind of annoys me too a little bit. But I understand her motivation and her struggle. I get it, right? But I was actually on her side when she jumped up in Sophie's face.
Oh yeah.
And was like, you do nothing.
Exactly.
You contribute nothing. Definitely. What do you do?
Because it was
yes. Oh my God.
I know that moment right there. That pushed her to do that.
Has a purpose. Yes. And it's with Larry, correct? Not Leary?
Leary, yeah.
Larry, the love interest of Leary. I get it, right? And he lost his family. He's going through some shit. So there is a purpose to this character.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this, characters that are just completely oblivious to real life.
Yeah.
And what is happening around them. And then trying to get all righteous and mighty and telling other people what to do. I was just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Because
seriously, shut up. When she got up in her face and said, you do nothing, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then her dumbass was like, well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I do stuff. I'm going to go blow up your factory. How do you like that?
Exactly. And that's where, like, when it all leads up to, like, to the point where Blake finds out that Penny sold off her business to another local businessman to use all her labor to help him out. That it culminates into the mayor actually almost killing Penny, and then he gets killed by the servant Jacob. Which episode 9 is the most. Season 2, episode 9 is the most heaviest episode that you'll ever watch. And why I say that is, whenever someone says, "What's Warrior like?" and I was like, if you want to watch Warrior, you really have to really watch it, because episode 9 of season 2 is the most realistic episode that you'll ever see. And this season was filmed in 2019. And I mentioned this in my review on Film Combat Syndicate, where that episode, season 2, episode 9, premiered on Bruce Lee's birthday. Which is why it's called Enter the Dragon.
Was it? Yeah, Enter the Dragon. Okay, that's the name of the episode. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Yeah. It's called Enter the Dragon.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But
dude, I'm gonna let chat know right now. We're gonna get into a little bit more of the plot synopsis. I'm gonna let chat know right now.
Yeah.
Thanks again for watching, you guys. Thanks for the likes in the video and hanging out with me and Kyle. That's Kyle.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry. Hi.
No, no problem. Sorry.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, chat. This show, episode, the whole show is phenomenal. Storytelling, acting, fuck the Sophie character. It's all right.
Yeah.
I love the show. I can look over it. But the fight scenes are even better, more brutal, violent, action, more exciting. And you actually, what makes the fight scenes are actually bonuses to the show, because you actually care what's happening to the characters. You actually care what's going on. So when you get a fight scene, it's even more exciting, and you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you this right now. I wanted to lead up to it, but fuck it, we're gonna talk about it right now. When it got to Enter the Dragon episode, I was loving the show. The show was 5 stars all the way through.
Yes.
When we got to the Enter the Dragon episode, I was like this. in terms of I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking awesome. It's about to go down. Holy shit. I never felt this excited about a show since when Game of Thrones was actually good. Yeah. I said it. When Game of Thrones was at its best and you get a really awesome action sequence and it was good before the show went to garbage, I haven't felt that way since that Game of Thrones, right? But now it's like you had to take a breath.
Yeah.
You had to take a breath after you were done. You're like, because it kept going.
Yes.
It kept going, and people were getting slaughtered, and then the gangs, the fucking hardcore gangs combined. The gangs combined and said, "Fuck this!
We're fucking working together and being the fuck out of all these guys."
Yeah, it's gonna be a truce now. We're gonna have a truce, and we're gonna fuck all these guys up. Fuck this, because they're literally getting invaded by the Irish.
Yeah,
it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And all I could say is when Young Jun said,
I'm still pumped.
Yeah. Every time I mention this scene that you see all this carnage happening, I always like remember like watching it, and it just pans down to seeing Young Jun, Hong, and Assam, and Young Jun's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he tells Hong, "Go get the others," and then
get the knives.
And Assam's just like wondering what the hell's going on and everything else. But he says, what do you think? And Young Jun just says, "We spent every day living in their world, but today they're gonna die ours." I felt goosebumps. Like, oh yes. And then Hong came in with everyone else, and then Leon came in with the long tea, and they just nodded and was like,
that was it. No big long sappy speech. Nod. We gonna team up.
Yep.
And we gonna fuck these dude. I'm still like really excited right now.
Yeah, I know. Just
talking about
saying everything about that episode and everything before that episode leading up to it. Like I said, it's a heavy episode because of how inadvertently political and realistic it gets.
Right.
Because like I remember writing this review and I really had to take a few moments to like and rewatching it. Watching it for the very first time, I felt it like hit me hard because it was like, okay, I'm not crying now, but when I was rewatching it again, I felt it right when the Irishman came in and started destroying every Chinese business. Everyone.
Kids, women, old
people. Yeah, exactly.
We're killing them. We're not robbing them and taking their shit. No, they're getting slaughtered.
Yeah. And the truth is, I remember one review stated that this was actually referencing a real life 2-day event back in 1887. No, 1887 in San Francisco, where Irishmen actually did raid Chinatown and destroyed at least $100,000 worth of property. 20 or so businesses were destroyed, and 4 people were injured, or 4 people were dead. And this lasted for 2 days straight. And this was a real event that happened.
Yeah.
And then I said, yeah, they actually portrayed everything that was happening, like what you see in history books. If you could find the right history books, that's real shit that's happening. And that
like there's no sugarcoating.
No. This is a show that actually shows the realism of everything. And here's why I also connected in a sense too, because what happened was that episode came out May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months after a certain other event happened. And I say that, and this is not disregarding what has happened to other people of the Black community that have died inadvertently, or not inadvertently, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that harkened back to that, because you're watching Jacob be hung like this and no one could do a fucking thing.
No.
We are literally watching it like how we watched that one video that happened back in May. And that's where it really hit
heavy
hard.
Stuff. Yeah,
it's so heavy. So
it's not just the Bruce Lee show. No. It's a lot more than that.
It's a realistic show that really shows what's really going on in the world. And
I want to get a shout out to Lee. Lee B. Golden, real quick.
Yep.
Film Combat Syndicate chat. Make sure you follow Film Combat Syndicate on Facebook and YouTube. If you want your movie news early, and you want to be in the know, in the now.
Yes.
You follow Lee. He's an awesome guy.
Lee.
He's the one that introduced me and Kyle together. So
yes.
So now we're best friends. So now we don't need Lee anymore. That's it. So Lee, you've been deleted, and no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Delete. Oh, you're a wrestling fan?
I just know that much.
Okay.
I'm already doing this.
It's too funny.
No, because I remember one friend just telling me, like, yeah, you should see Matt Hardy now. I was like, oh my God, what is it?
Delete. Yeah. But we will not delete Warrior Season 2 because it's fucking nuts.
It's
and
really...
even after episode 9, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, obviously that's the finale. No. We still had more fighting.
Yeah. Like the fact the aftermath of all that, fucking Mai Ling calls out her brother, calls out Assam right in front of Young Jun. And I was like, when was this gonna happen? And she did it right there. I'm like, oh fuck, what is gonna happen between the top way now? And it really shook them. Do you think
now that he's the leader now, reluctantly the leader, now that he's the leader now, and the show ended with his father kind of in semi-retirement. Yeah. Do you think he's going to turn on Assam?
If season 3 were to happen, it would be interesting to see if Assam and Youngjun fight, but at the same time, would they turn on each other? It's really up in the air because of especially how it ends with Youngjun looking up at that mural of Assam. He knows that even though he could have done, and he laid it out all the outcomes, you could have joined Mai Ling when we kicked you out, but you didn't. You could have done this, but you didn't. You saved every aspect, but our trust means shit because of this. And that runs deep because trust is literally a hard thing, especially with that. And when him and Hong discuss it, they're at a quandary about it. So there's definitely a fucking bridge right there that's broken between them where you don't know what it could do, because it's it's almost like we're gonna keep working together, but you better stay your fucking distance right now. You better stay in your fucking lane. But
it's realistic for him to feel that way, to kind of trade and lie to a little bit. It's not like he's the dick in this situation.
No, because
but with Wong Point, my new favorite character of the show.
Oh yeah,
this guy. I was like, well, he's so awkward at first.
I know.
I was like, what is this guy? This character, right?
Yeah,
he started fighting and throwing down, and he was so fast. I was like, oh shit. There's a lot more to this character.
And especially when they take the time to actually, when they started episode 8, I believe, that they're all sitting around after they killed all of all of the Feng Hai, and he's telling the story of the violin man, and they're like, so that's why you use a rope. It's not a rope, it's a chain, and they stick on him. But you can
rope man? Are you rope man?
Yeah, exactly. Are you rope man? It's like, fuck you guys. But you can see he was really trying to make his own trademark, but also his humor and awkwardness really brings a lot of brevity and lightness to both Assam and Youngjun, because you have both of them being so serious all the time. Yeah. But having Hong really brings this nice you guys what are you guys doing up to now? And they're just how do we react to this? It's you can't. It's realistic kind of friendship where you're just we have that one crazy friend. He's literally the crazy friend.
Yeah. And it's interesting because he's in the middle between Hassan and what you call
Youngjun.
Yeah. He's kind of even telling Youngjun he could have went this way. He could have chose to do this, but he still stayed by your side. So he didn't really have a choice. Exactly. But it's very interesting. I thought maybe the father was going to stay and hang out and be the evil emperor, from Return of the Jedi.
What ready to
listen to me, and then he turns on Assam. Yeah, but no, the father left.
Yeah, I was.
Lee says Mai Ling really showed us her true nature in season 2.
I agree.
Look at that.
For Mai Ling to actually start off like plot, like starting to plan certain things even before Longzi passed away. Like, and you see it between her and Leong, the main bodyguard, Joe Taslim. They start talking about like, because they were having an affair themselves, and then she's trying to tell Leong like, this is for, and we should play that one clip, the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good. Because she's literally planning not just for Longzi or anything else. She's planning for not just her future, but just in Chinatown, how to survive, but without like, okay, we're gonna be protected, and this is how we have to work it. And if all this shit is gonna be like voided, I want to make sure we're protected. And for her, and that's why she made that pure move on Young Jun. Like, hey, since the Feng Hai we're not trustworthy, I want to plan this. Young Jun's like, fuck off. And she was like, well, here's how we're gonna do business this way. Like, this. And he's like, fuck off again. And then it's like, I just don't want to be at war with my brother. And they're like, fuck off.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck is she talking about? Yeah. That was great. It's great strategy.
Yeah. And I did not expect that in the season finale. I was like, oh shit, how's this gonna turn out?
Yeah. Luckily though, Joe Taslim already knew. He was kind of already on her side.
Yeah. And just him for the shock of like, you're doing this now? Oh crap. Okay, we're doing this.
Yeah. I like that fight Joe Taslim had with
back at
the one that got arrested. They framed
him. With Zing. Yeah, with Zing, because like that sort brutal. Of like that was so brutal, especially like how Zing uses Fonza style and how Joe Taslim uses like a much more lighter style of wushu, and they're just battling each other, trying to just get at each other's throats because you have Zing, who's literally has no filter, especially when he tells like, I'm gonna fuck my Link so good that you I was just like, dude, fucking end him. I don't know how you're gonna end him. But
we got some fans here. There we go. This show is the most underrated, unappreciated show on the TV show. Yes. Preach it to the choir. Yes.
Agreed.
Well, preaching that this is some church up in here, church of badassity. You gotta say the line. This line from Joe Taslim's character gave me an action boner. Sorry. This line was so, you know what line I'm talking about.
Yes. Be grateful for your pain. It means you're still alive.
That one, but the right before they fought. The one right before they fought.
I think it was, I'm trying to remember it.
It was something like he told him oh man, I forgot the most badass line ever.
Lee, help us out.
It was something like Joe Taslim responded like, I didn't question it. Like I didn't question. Like it was like, now we have to see who's better or something like that.
And it was like there was no question to it.
Yeah,
and they just started beating the shit out of each other. And
I was just like, dude, this is awesome. He was just like, I never thought that this was a question. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, that was my reaction at home. So,
and all I can say is like Joe Taslim's character as Leong really, like, he's not given much like in terms of backstory, but you could tell like he has been there for so long, and he knows what his duty is, and especially when it comes to the Longzi, he really sticks by it. And it really comes back to episode 9 in season 1 where Atoy says, like, here's the reason why Leong won. Because he has fucking purpose. You don't. And I was like, that hurts a song. That really hurts a song.
Yeah, it's the truth, though.
But it is the truth.
It's the truth.
And that's where
so much stuff happened. It's hard to talk. We would need like 4 or 5 hours to go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But even with this character, this character,
dude,
the attack at his house fight scene was nuts.
Like for him and Lee, like Lee left, and then fucking the Feng Hai just come in to like literally bank on what they said they were gonna do to kill his family.
Yeah, because he walked
that's what they
away.
do.
He's like, "Look, I'm already
Yeah,
done doing your dirty work. I want to go back to being a good cop. Fuck off.
yeah,
I already did what you
exactly.
needed me to do. I'm leaving." And they're like, "You can't just walk out on us, man."
Yeah,
And then they
and
show up at his house, man. That was intense.
it was intense. Like, you have Lucy and the kid, like his son, like literally fighting for their lives too, and then Lee coming in, and then they finally all like realize, okay, this just happened because of O'Hara, and like even for O'Hara to like really like take it all in that he actually caused all this,
Yeah.
especially the inadvertent attack to Lee by Zing. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that trust that they had together
Yeah.
really goes out the window,
Yeah. It goes
and
out.
especially like right after they find they when they raid the Feng Hai, like, and this is like a plan that they all culminated together with Wang Chao, who Wang Chao, if no one knows, Wang Chao is like the liaison to the Chinese community and the white community that like makes sure that everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah.
He's been getting flack from the Feng Hai and Zing to like make the weapons. So Li Yong proposes a plan with Wang Chao, like, okay, you know how they're finding the swordsman, which was actually a toy. They said, let's take this sword from a toy and then plan it on Zing. You tell the cops this is what's gonna happen. So
This sword, yeah.
that specific sword that Lai and Atoy has used on countless like retribution and like messages to send to like people that fuck with Chinese. This is what's gonna happen to you.
Right.
And the fact that they planned all that together, and even doing for O'Hara to actually like say, yeah, we got our guy. He knows how to use a sword. This is what who he is. And also we're pinning this murder on him, which is on like a real estate agent that
Yeah.
Atoy has killed, and
Right.
used a piece like a gold pocket watch to actually like frame Zing with that too. So that way everyone could be like,
But Kyle, but Kyle, why did you let him do that? Why did you let him do that, Kyle?
well, because that trust, it made sense like for them cop wise. So like, yep, that here we go. Get the Chinese off our back. Or the Chinese are no longer suspects. We have our suspect who's the swordsman. No problems. But
why? Why?
well, because definitely like
You don't have
O'Hara,
to answer, Sophie.
Yeah. No, I'm not, because O'Hara, Sophie, go over there. No offense.
I
But
try to throw that up there just to annoy chat, because that's kind of how the character feels to me when I watch her every time.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
shut up! You do nothing, Sophie. Shut up. Anyway, but can you see Lee's
Yeah.
comment?
If season 3 were to happen, Young Jun would have to do some serious thinking to do. It's only near the end of season 2 that he shows a bit of wisdom, but he still has much more to learn about the world, which is true. And like, especially not knowing everything like his father learned, this is like his own way of like learning how to deal with his own business now that he runs a Hop way. So for him to actually like understand, like, okay, this is how I have to approach this business, this is how I have to approach new members, this is how I have to approach dealing with my Ling, how I have to deal with the cops, how I have to deal with everything else.
Right.
Oh, don't leave. Nate Dogs is like saying, fine, I'll just leave.
But there's so much that happens. But
Yeah.
I mean, now that this asshole's dead,
Yeah.
this motherfucker,
Yeah. Buffy.
this dude, man,
Yeah.
he's gonna be a problem. He's already a problem.
Like him was literally like not just a ringleader. He was literally pulling the strings. Like, yeah, you should do this. You should do this, because under Senator Crestwood is literally filtering it through him. Now he has the power. So when Blake died, he was like, okay, I need this. I need to know where the fuck this guy is. Tell me where the fuck this guy is. Because what happened was, like, when Jacob, the one servant for Penny and Mayor Blake, like, killed Mayor Blake, he made it like clear that I want this guy. I want this guy now, because he could definitely say the actual truth that Mayor Blake tried to kill him.
Right.
But
right.
he's using that though as like the fear that all the voters would like say like, yeah, this Chinese person killed the mayor. Right. We're gonna do this justice, and this is gonna push the Chinese Exclusion Act to farther. And I was just like, dude, you are a piece of shit. Dude, then again,
and we get a little bit more backstory with him in the war, and he has a thing for redheads.
Yeah,
there's some darkness here. Like, he you know, the first season you could tell he had objectives, but now that he's in control,
he is.
Dude, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be problems. It's gonna be some problems.
And the fact that
he couldn't even get intimidated by Leary.
No, that was crazy. And the fact that he inadvertently like motivates Larry to like, you know, you're doing this. Why don't you actually be a politician with me? And the fact that Leary was like contemplating it with Sophie, and says, "Can you imagine me being a politician with you with these guys?" And she's like, "Yeah, I could." And then next thing you know, he fucking joins them as part of the Working Man's Party of California to say, "Yeah, you know what? This is exactly what I need to be part of. This is how the Chinese must go." And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I did not see that coming at all when he showed up there, because I thought that was the end of him. Because
he fucking got his ass beat by
that was a great fight.
Oh yeah,
it was like martial arts versus street fight.
Yeah,
like it was like bare knuckle brawling versus style and technique. It was a class. It was a great fight, because you know
it was a great fight.
They teased his fight with what's his name?
With like literally from the beginning of the season finale of season 1.
Yes.
And the fact that like in episode 4, when like you have this moment between Leary, that scene right there was like where Leary's just waiting outside and saying to Assam, like, you know, you talk American and yet you guys don't belong here. Like, if you keep taking our jobs, and Assam just like immediately reacts like, who said I want your fucking job? Maybe it's your people maybe it's your problem. Yeah. And then once they all got close, I was like, that's a nice Western standoff.
He's like, what country are you from?
Yeah. Exactly. And then they get to that point where like, and that one line like really resonated to me, where like Leary says, "What's your name?" And Assam just goes, "Assam." And Leary just says, "You and me, we have some finished business."
And the show delivered.
Yes. The line that Assam delivers right to him after that point, I was like, I'm going to use that no matter what, because you know what? As much as this show has been like very motivational on everything else, like that line itself, because I know I deal with systematic racism in my own city as is. When he said this, so it's like, when you're ready, come find me. I'll be the chink in the fancy fucking suit. I was like, yes, yes, you're gonna fucking get your teeth kicked in. I don't care, Leary. You're gonna get your fucking as much as Leary is a character, you're gonna get your fucking teeth kicked in.
Even Leary was just like, oh shit, that was a great line. All right, fine, I'll give you that. I'm gonna walk this way now.
Yeah, exactly. But that fight alone, like when he comes into the Banshee bar, he's just like, all right, who's buying the first round? And then you see all these bodies just laying there. I'm just like, yep, you're really going to try and fight them? And then they just have that one moment that they're just staying across the table. And I don't know why. I love those type of scenes where the main villain and the main hero just like sit across from each other and just have this moment of like trying to understand each other before they beat the fuck out of each other. It always resonates well, because you like see them on some sort of even ground. And then it's like, so we doing this? Yeah. So they go outside, and you just, like you said, it's style versus street brawling, which is literally what like Bruce Lee's style has always been, like Jeet Kune Do and everything else. Like, how's it going to adapt to street fighting?
And he adapted in that end fight.
Exactly.
He was getting beat down at some point. And Larry thought it was over, but then he had to adapt and overcome.
Exactly. And he definitely fights like a truck. Fucking truck. Like Larry is like fucking a massive street brawler boxer that you could tell like there's a lot of definite like hard hits because of how he organizes his street brawls. But for Assam to finally go in there and like beat the shit out of Leary, to send a message to all of them to finally say like, if anyone comes into Chinatown and fucks with us again, I'm coming back with an army. and it was at that moment that, like, when he's walking back,
Yeah.
and that's the last time you see him throughout the episode. Assam is just like looking at his hands and everything else. He's just really like trying to figure out what the fuck have I done and why am I doing this now? Even though, yes, I'm a symbol to my people. But fuck.
I mean, they made a fucking painting and building and shit.
Yeah. You know? It's and
really good, man. Just really first class. You know what would have made that end fight scene better between him and Leary? Is if Sophie ran in and was like, "What are you guys doing? What are you doing?"
I'm kind of glad Sophie did not have like any more than that one scene, because like she definitely served her purpose, because it was like, when I mentioned this in my season 9 review, like both Penny and Sophie had that moment of like people understanding, like, yeah, remember, Jacob, you just tell them the truth. It's gonna be fine. They'll let you off. It's like, look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. Are you fucking serious? The law's not gonna be fair to me. No one's gonna be fair to me. Even Leary knew that. Assam knew that. And yet both of them finally, when Sophie finally comes back to seeing Penny on the ground, and they're just sitting there, and she's like, yeah, Jacob's dead. And so Penny's like, and Sophie just says, like, I hate how the world isn't. And Penny's just like saying, this is the world. And I was like, wow, they finally understand exactly how people of color get actually treated in this standpoint. It's like, it's not all fair. And that really resonates with how everything is happening.
Again, the show not sugarcoating anything.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? The end finale fight in season 9? I mean, episode 9.
Oh god!
When it got really intense. Remember when all the gangs formed?
Oh yeah,
I think after the gangs formed, when it made that scene better, is if right next to Joe Taslim, Sophie shows up. Hey, what are you guys doing? Why are you fighting?
In that shrilling voice, I just like, I'm just like,
and then I'll show them both fight, and then have the camera on her the whole fight. So you just hear what's happening. That's it. You just see her reaction.
Honestly, it would be exactly like how the Way of the Dragon, where you have Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee fighting, and then cut to the cat. That basically, if the show's doing homages and everything else, that's Sophie being the cat. Like, and they're just like, yeah, okay, there's a lull in the fight. Go to the cat.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh, I'm having fun. This is what you get when you come to Phat Samurai.
I'm actually having too much fucking fun with
you get the goofiness. So let's go back to, I mean, we've been talking about the heavy stuff. Let's talk about some of the fun stuff too. Like, again, love this character.
Oh yeah.
But tons of Bruce-isms in this, just the first season.
Yes.
I believe when he fought Michael Bisping.
Oh god, yeah, the whole like tournament style.
I thought that was gonna be a long fight, and it was
and he just like straight up kicks him down. I was like, okay.
Yeah. It was cool though. It was cool.
It's really good and
perfectly casted for that role.
Definitely,
But we get a little bit of Bruce-isms in that tournament fight because he's got the black pants, and then he gets cut up.
Oh yeah, like definitely like in Enter the Dragon from the Han style, and I remembered like watching that too, like saying, yeah, it's a subtle, nice homage. Like there's a lot of Bruce Lee like references in the show that really work well, and I even stated this, like I don't know exactly if the whole affair with Penny was supposed to be a thing, because you have a Chinese character and a white character being together, and could that be a reference to how Bruce and Linda actually were married together? Because like
maybe I didn't even think about that. That's
true. It was like a small thing, and I was just like, could it be? Because it might be, but you don't know at the time. And then,
but you got Andrew Koji doing this.
Oh yeah, definitely like that.
And then of course one of the most badass. Where I was just like, this fight scene's already like insane, amazing. Back when Game of Thrones was good action, amazing. And yet we got a little bonus at the end. This motherfucker pulls out
the nunchuck scene,
and just wrecks shop.
Oh yeah,
wrecks shop. I'm like Andrew been training.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this was like, I was just like, dude, could the scene not even be more badass?
Like just that scene alone, like when he first gets it from like the one Irish dude, during the whole fucking riot, and he just grabs it from the dude and just fucking whacks him with it, and then says after he beats down all the other guys, looks at the shop owner, "Can I borrow these?" And then you get the whole hero shot of him jump kicking some dude, and then goes into his whole nunchaku like flare style, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this shit is about to go down. And you could just see him beat down every single one of the Irish guys coming in, and all the Chinese, just the Chinese community looking on and realizing this is the guy, this is our guy that's gonna fight for us. And just how he like actually like, you know how Bruce Lee always has his roar cries, like when he's fighting and going, whoa! And I don't want to say Andrew Koji like put that in, but the way he did it on his own way, that's almost like putting all the rage of what was going on. Like when he's like, when the first guy, he just like hits him and he's like, Argh! I was like, oh yeah, I felt that. And then right at the end when he does the flare again and he just pulls out, he's like, Argh! And he's like, yeah, he is fucking pissed off at all these assholes.
And we were at home watching it going, Argh!
Yeah. Because it was like, yes, that is everyone's reaction to like, yeah, you made that all happen. This is what's gonna happen when you literally like beat down a whole community, and someone's gonna rise up and fight back.
Yeah, it's like inspired them, and then like you said, they painted an image of him with the nunchuck on the wall. Again, referencing Way of the Dragon or Return of the Dragon. But the show scratches the fucking action itch.
Yeah, I know, and
the itch. And up to this point, I was like, it's so beautifully choreographed, filmed, everything. Oh my god! Plus, again, a bonus because we actually care what's happening.
Oh yes,
with the characters and the story.
Definitely.
Right when it got to this scene, I was just like, why the fuck is nobody talking about this show?
I know
this does not make any sense, and that's why I really wanted to do this live stream with you.
No, I agree.
Just like, we got to spread the word. We got to let people know.
Like,
you gotta let them know.
This is one show that really will make you think, especially with season 3 in limbo, because the transition from Cinemax canceling all original programming and then finally making it to HBO Max.
Didn't they have to fight? They had to fight to get a second season, right?
Yeah, actually, no. From what I've heard, like the second season was actually like greenlit right after the first season was like showing.
Oh, okay.
So, and the fact that
didn't know where it was going to be shown on HBO or Cinemax. Is that what?
After that, because like right after season 2 was like totally like about to premiere, they said, "Yep, it's gonna go right to HBO Max. We'll see how it does here." And I'm just like, God, don't do that. Like, and the fact that friends were asking me like, have they written anything? I was like, no. Once Cinemax like gave like saying like, "Yep, we're canceling all." And this like came right after season 2 was done filming. Like, yeah, all Cinemax original programming is done. So,
okay,
we'll see what happens. And I was like, God damn it! Like, I hate when shows, if certain movies end at number 2. The only one that was slightly acceptable that ended at number 2, but shows stay at number 2 was Terminator 2. But it kept going.
I agree with this.
But season 2 does not.
Did you hear a rumor about a Terminator anime series?
Yes, I will say this. I'm fine with Terminator Dark Fate. I'm fine with Genesis. But we did not need all these Terminators. I kept thinking in my head when I was growing up watching Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? This is a perfect film. A perfect action sci-fi film. It doesn't need anymore. Exactly. Like, we don't, and it's exactly what she says. We don't know what the future holds. And I was like, there we go. Hence why, like, season 2 finale of fucking Warrior 2. There's Lee actually said this in his review of the series, or we were talking about, it ends with so much loose ends. Like we don't know what will happen. We don't know what will happen with what's it called? We don't know what will happen with fucking Zing popping out. We don't know how Penny. So Penny actually gets framed by Buckley in the end.
That's right. That's right.
And she was.
Oh yeah, she's in the asylum.
Yeah, she got committed to a mental asylum, and I was just wondering. And here's the thing: I kept thinking, because the romantic subplot in between Assam and Penny, I seriously thought they were going to see each other one last time, but you never see them together ever again after the episode where all their shipment, the building blows up. You never see them together ever again. And I was like, oh shit, because she's literally trying to survive now with fucking Blake and Buckley now. And then once she finally gets framed, it's like, oh shit, how's she going to get out of this? And then you have Mai Ling taking control of Buckley with this one photo of him being the former Confederate soldier. And now she's like, okay, you say I get to do this. Well, I got this, and I also got a few other photos. So you better do what the fuck I say. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And especially having him target only the Hopway business. And I was like, okay, that is a good plan, but I wish to see what will happen.
Yeah,
what will happen?
There's a lot of loose ends. So we, but here's the thing, though. It's such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
We're starving. We're hungry for the next season. You know what I mean? So this is what Lee says about this is what happened. So season 2 aired on television months prior to its debut. It was canceled with Warner Media.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Lee's saying, Lee, you should have been on the damn show. You should have been on the show. You're awake. I was trying to get him on here to do it with us, but he's like, it's cold. Lee's excuse was it was cold. It's cold. And it's like, man, you're up now with us. You could have been on the show. It's all good.
Like definitely Lee and I, when I was in quarantine, when I just got back from LA, we were really sitting down and discussing each episode, and we just said, holy fuck, what did you think about this? What did you think about this? Because I saw him talking about it on his updates, and it got to the point where he asked me how do you feel about writing the reviews for this? I was like, dude, I don't want to research all this. And then next thing I started researching everything. You know what? I'm not doing much. Let's see this. And it started to make me appreciate how the creators like Shannon Lee, Jonathan Tropper really looked into everything, and Justin Lin overseeing everything to make the show as authentic as it could be, and really resonates with what's happening now in this time. And they always said, Bruce Lee was ahead of his time, and to have a show like this and trusting Jonathan Tropper to actually oversee the writing of making sure that it was tight, really tightly written, and just leading every subplot to go into something bigger. And we all knew this was going to go into something bigger at the end of season 2. And yet, like we said, Leary stepping up to be a politician with fucking Buckley. That is going to be an interesting thing if season 3 were to happen. Him actually being a politician, pushing for the Exclusion Act. And that, seeing season 3, you have the Hopway being cracked down on by the police and the politicians, and trying to survive while the Long Z are literally trying to fucking take over everything, but in a more legit business way. And the fact that how Zing will exact his revenge, even though that's going to be a small subplot, I would believe. But you have all that, and here's Assam stuck in the middle, trying to figure out, do I want to save my sister? Do I want to save the Hopway? And for the better luck of term, he finds out what happens to Penny, and finds out, do I want to save her? And yet, but at the same time, at the heart of it, how am I going to fucking save Chinatown?
Right.
Because all the shit is happening now, especially with the Exclusion Act and whoever they get with because I don't want to say that sort of final fight between him and Leary sent a message, it is gonna cause like some other ruckus to the point of like,
Oh
yep,
yeah.
now they have an anti Chinese squad. Like, yep, you have to do this, you have to do this, and unless they throw in something which was also real, the bubonic plague actually, the bubonic plague actually attacked the San Francisco Chinatown for at least 4 years, and no one could actually leave Chinatown at all. They couldn't even go to work, and it's interesting that happened like a few years after 1887. It happened in 1904 to 1901 to 1904, and that sort of lockdown thing actually happened in episode 8 when they were trying to find Jacob.
Okay.
Okay. So there was like
a lot of interesting things coming up, man. Hopefully for season 3. And don't forget about him. This guy.
Oh yeah,
he told our son, "Are you willing to kill your own sister? Like, are you willing to see your sister die, man? Because that might happen."
Because Young Jun, like, especially for Young Jun, trying to have the Hot Boys still survive under his own leadership too. Right. Like that will be something to see. While
okay,
go ahead.
Now, be honest about this character.
Mm-hmm.
When this character, because it's been a long time since I revisited season 1.
Yeah,
a long time. I just kind of jumped into season 2.
Yeah,
but I don't even remember this character. But what do you think of her? What's your thoughts on this character,
Nellie? So Nellie Davenport. Originally, when I was writing the whole the review, and I had to introduce Nellie Davenport, I was like, okay, some people might say she is like the white savior because she's saving Chinese women that are in brothels, and her backstory was literally like her husband went off in the night and went to actually rape Chinese women in brothels, and when he died of a heart attack, she wanted to save the Chinese women, and her and Atoy really worked for the same goal of saving any Chinese in peril. But they saved the Chinese women and try and give them a good life, whereas like Atoy tries to do it, but sometimes have to put them in the brothel to make it work. Whereas Nellie, she has all this and everything else, and she actually wants to learn about the Chinese culture, so that way she actually not just be an ally, but actually help them embrace who they are.
Yeah, because she can speak the language.
Exactly. So
I don't know. It's just okay. I wanted to know your thoughts on the character. I didn't have an issue.
No. It's not even an issue. Just kind of
like, who is this?
because she rarely did not. Yeah, because she did not show up until season 2, and I was just like, okay. And it's the way I say it is like we were talking about happy endings are bullshit. She kind of does give Atoy that happy ending that she definitely deserves, especially for Atoy, like who has been through a shitload of things in her life. Yeah. And when she saved Lai, the young girl that she actually trained to fight with her in season 1, like she knows that Atoy knows that Lai should not be like her, and forces her to stay with Nellie, and that was a heartbreaking moment. That was definitely a heartbreaking moment because it's like almost this mother and daughter kind of thing going like, I don't want you to be like me. If you stay with me, you're gonna start meeting men, like actually sleeping with men. Do you want that? And then she just like gives her one last hug and pushes her away, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah, and it was emotional. But speaking of toying with my emotions, holy fuck, the bar fight scene, bro.
Oh yeah,
dude. Definitely. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, like
it was her the guy that was helping her get land. He was like, she was gonna leave him, and he was like, fuck that, you're taking my money and shit. And then like he hooks up with some crazy characters, and
two butcher dudes.
That fight was nuts.
I know, and that was like they fucking slapped Nellie away, and then for Atoy to actually try and overcome one of them, I was like, damn. And they actually cut her like deep on this one, so she barely like fucking move. And then when she actually gets one guy down to finally get her sword, I'm like, okay, you're fucked, dude. That dude was fucked when she had her sword. I was like, yeah, this guy is so fucked and ready to die.
Yeah,
like,
I love the after she overcomes it's brutal, just brutal.
Yeah.
After she overcomes them, though, I love the scene afterwards where she goes up with that dude that tried to
fucking
get
Patterson.
and she's just sitting there at the table, all fucked up.
Yeah.
Lord.
And here's Patterson trying to like fucking play it all dumb. He's like, nope, she knows what you did. It's like, you better sign now, or else I kill you and your whole family. Like, she ain't fucking around.
Well,
she ain't fucking around. Like you,
I need you to look over there for a second.
Yeah. It's like these two fucking heads right there on a silver platter. It's like heads on a fucking silver platter, legit. And I'm just like, yeah, like you did not have to do this. Because she did not need your help, but she needed a guy to actually do what she needed for her land. But
it was stupid. It was like she was leaving on good terms. He made money with her. There was no reason for any of that.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was great. That was a great scene. That was great.
Definitely.
But yeah, man. Overall, are we missing any other key characters? Oh, the gentleman with the hat. Between. I know that they all wear hats. I know that's a bad.
Lee, like O'Hara's partner, or
he's the one that he's kind of in between.
Wang Chao. Yeah, Wang Chao.
Wang Chao.
Dude,
we got more layers to his character in this.
Oh season. Yeah, like
especially by the end, because I didn't think that guy had a heart.
No, like definitely like the first season. You see how he always just does business with both the Chinese, the police, and the white community, and then when you finally like see him in one sense of like actually being vulnerable, like he's reading a newspaper while having a prostitute with him, I was just like, okay, we're getting a little bit too much from him. But then when the season finale of season 1 happened, where he sees like Assam being a coolie, he actually says like I know you're not a fucking coolie, so what? You should drop this act. And then he tells him his backstory, like, I was a slave, and he tells him like we were supposed to come to America, but we ended up in Cuba, and where I was sold as a slave. And he just says, I know I'm not a fucking slave.
Yeah.
And you could tell in how he delivers everything like that. He just really sold it, that he has seen so much shit.
Yeah.
And especially what he says to Assam, like, warriors have 2 paths, get killed or get better. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
I was just like, okay, here's just a businessman out for himself. He only thinks for himself, but like, you find out later that he's got a daughter
with a prostitute herself. But and yet he really like does whatever, trying to stay out of her life, but at the same time, like when he finally gives her to Nelly at the end, almost dying from that fucking raid that he planned, he was like saying no. He was like saying to Nelly, like, I want you to get a good home because her mother is a prostitute and her father is me. So I want her to have a good life. And him understanding like if she stays in Chinatown, like she won't be accepted because the Chinese don't accept half Chinese or half whatever else.
Right.
And at least with Nelly and a white family, she could actually survive, especially during that time. He understood like what was good for her. Right. And seeing like how he understood too, like the shit between, like he didn't even know that Mai Ling and Assam were like brother and sister, because I kept rewatching those episodes like, do you know or do you not know? But he knew that those two, if they're going at each other's throats, Chinatown was gonna pay. And he fucking called it when he told Assam that during when he was in the Barbary Coast fighting, he called that when the fucking Irish came in, like
he did
to destroy Chinatown, and he had to save Mai Ling from the whole crowd coming in. And it's like, he fucking called it. But he definitely had his own moments of fighting back, even though he's not as martial arts excelled as Assam or Leong. You could tell that he fights for his own survival in his own way. And that's what I like about the fight choreography too, is they don't fight to say like, this character just knows this, that's why he's cool. No. Brett Chan, who's the fight coordinator, knew exactly how to shape the fight scenes and everything else to make sure it served the purpose of the story and the characters. So everyone had a reason to fight and knew how to do it, like how the character was going to do it, not just like, yeah, this character is going to learn a 540, which I fucking hate the fact that,
but I love how he would have those pistols just come out.
Yeah.
Come out of his sleeve.
Yeah.
That was great.
He just like, especially when he knew that he was like so caught in the Feng Hai, and he was just like, oh, they're going to try to kill him. You only have one gun. It's like, boom.
But even with his character at the end of the show, he had that moment where he was like, he felt really bad because of what happened to Jacob.
Oh yes.
And he tells he says,
my Ling.
He trusted me.
Yeah.
That man trusted me. And and I was like, wow, because like you said, first season is more like businessman, I'm only out for myself. Yes. But again, layers to all these
layers to him, and
even Leary. Even though Larry's the villain.
Yeah, and they finally gave him like a fleshed out character for season 2. Like
there's still moments, where you're like, oh, I kind of it's fucked up, but I kind of understand where Leary's coming from,
and that's where like Leary and Assam are almost the same. They're fighting for their own purpose. Like Assam still doesn't know what until like later on that he's like, yes, I am supposed to be a symbol to Chinatown. But Leary, he knew that he had to fight for the Irish working men, but at the same time, he did not know how to approach it. He's just doing it because, oh, I own this bar. And to serve a better purpose, to serve like kind of the idea of like, yeah, Sophie was literally the like push that he needed in a weird way.
Yeah. She served her purpose.
Yes, exactly. Because,
but yeah, go
ahead. Because Leary like definitely was always like being the one guy that says, American jobs belong to Americans, and yet it kind of contradicts himself when Assam points out, like, yeah, you guys came from Ireland, you especially came from Ireland, and yet you say you're American? Come on. But the side fact, it really makes Leary know exactly what's going around in the world around him, but also try make it work too. Especially when he knew that, when Sophie told him that Jacob's dead, or Mayor Blake's dead, and Jacob killed him, and he knew, he was like, oh shit. Like, and he did warn everybody. And then when he gets to that point where he saves Sophie from the crowd in episode 9, he gives her that wake up call. It's like, I told everybody that this shit was gonna happen, and no one wanted to listen. Now let's take a look. You want to be a part of this world? Take a look right now.
Again, that was his version of saying, you do nothing, Sophie.
Exactly. Exactly.
Shut up, Sophie.
Exactly. And for her to finally realize that, he's like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Because
that's great.
Yeah.
I was so happy that happened.
Because
now, how long do you think it will take for Lee to be out of the law enforcement? I think he's going to I think he's going to come back.
Definitely, like the way his trust is like totally gone after finding out that O'Hara like planted the evidence when he goes to meet the one real estate's widow. Like that trust is gone, and then after, like, he reached his breaking point right at the riot. Like he really reached his breaking point. Like that fucking Tully guy, like fucking beat him down, and he's just like, fuck this. And it really mentally broke him to the point where I was like, all my righteous like approach is all bullshit. But even O'Hara's like saying, no, it wasn't all bullshit. It's just there's this approach that we have to do. Like,
right.
And as much as like Lee really understands and sympathizes with people of color, because him having a wife that was black herself and then killed by his own cousins. That really gets to the point of why he sympathizes with the people of color, like the Chinese and the black community, and yet no one understood why he did that. But he was just like, no, I came from this, and this is why I'm fighting for this. And yet now it's like he goes off and finally like says like, fuck it, I don't want to be a cop anymore because all this shit happened and I can't deal with the corruption, I can't deal with this. And like you said, if season 3 were to happen, I definitely see him like coming back, but it's unknown how he would come back, especially when like O'Hara like does not have like a good solid reasoning. Yes, he said he is a cop, he's a righteous cop, but for Lee to come back, it would have to take some not convincing, just knowing that like something if he
Like
and Abigail
another event.
yeah,
Like,
which
all right, I got to do something, kind of thing.
like probably let's say I hate to use this as an example, and this is a cliched example, like him and Abigail, if they were to like continue like their relationship, and he actually like, you know what, him working at the bar with Abigail, who knows that would actually happen. But then like, who would actually like get what's it called? I think Lee would be.
He says, I think Lee would be back in law enforcement, but a lot would need to happen. Like I was saying,
Yes.
it's an event.
Yes.
Plot-wise, providing the character development is there. Maybe private investigator.
Yeah, like private investigator. Like definitely, if he was a private investigator, not like Damon, because Damon, who was a guy that was working with the Feng Hai and also O'Hara killed in season 1.
Right.
But Lee would have to have an event happen, like whether it be like Abigail losing her bar. I don't want to go so far of like her getting killed again, because we don't want to repeat history for him like that.
Right.
But if she lost her bar, or even having her injured while the bar got destroyed, and then that's what makes him actually go like.
Kyle is obviously a lot younger than me. I'm an old man. I'm like 95 years old.
Sidekicks.
So I don't know if Kyle knows about this.
I remember seeing it in passing, but I rarely remember. But I do know Ernie Reyes Jr. was like a great martial arts actor growing up. Surf ninjas. There you
go. There you go. That shows you how young Kyle is. There you go.
I'm like barely out of the 80s and then into the 90s to that point of like, yeah, you know what? These were awesome movies back then. And then I'd look back and oh god,
a great era.
Yes.
But yeah, I you know I knew about the show Sexy Sumo, but I never watched it. I wonder if it's like on DVD. Probably on YouTube. You can probably watch it.
Yeah, as most shows are.
Have a good one, Yasuke. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks again, guys, for watching and liking the video. You guys are awesome. But yeah, this is, I'm so happy we're able to revisit the season and talk about it and try to promote the badassity of this show. Let other people know. So chat, tell your friends, tell your family. All right, tell everyone.
Get everyone to watch the show.
Watch the show. This show should be This should be the highest rated show out there. Fuck all the fucking investigation shows. What
God.
5 million investigation shows. CISC, the fucking Shield and the fucking. We got too many. Okay.
No, like we definitely
reality TV shows, which is all puke. Okay.
And
all
actually, what's actually interesting too.
Huh?
What's actually interesting too is if there wasn't a Warrior season 3, there could have been a Warrior spinoff, because I remember my mom and I talking about historical events with the Chinese. There was actually Chinese coolies in Peru. So, and when Wang Chao mentions about like there's slaves in Cuba, I was like, that would be an interesting spinoff.
Interesting.
So to hear how Wang Chao like suffered in Cuba.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it could be a story about Wang Chao, but it's like literally about the slaves that were still stuck there. And I was like, you know what, that would be an interesting side story, because like most shows like Marco Polo or even like Spartacus, because I think I resonated like to those shows, especially to this one, minus the action, gore, and sex in it. But I think I resonated to it because of like how they approach the dialogue and story to everything. So to have a side story of like what happens in Cuba with the Chinese story, I would settle for that if season 3 did not happen. I'm still knocking on wood that season 3 should happen.
I have a good feeling, even though the show's not talked about as much as we would like it to be. I have a good feeling. I think the critics really liked it.
Yes.
Maybe that will create some buzz. Plus, there's probably more eyes on it now. Not as much as we would like.
No.
Because everyone's subscribing to HBO Max for other things.
Yes.
So they may have more access to it. But I think, that's interesting about a side, what would you call it?
A side story, like a spinoff where...
I think the spinoff that everybody really wants to see from Warrior, though, is Sophie's Choice. Sophie's Choice.
I knew a Sophie's Choice joke was coming in.
It's all about me. It's all about me. I do nothing, but I know everything, and I'm going to tell you how to live your lives, even though I don't do shit. Sophie's Choice coming soon. Oh, your season 3 spinoff.
Actually, the spinoff for Sophie, her getting Penny out of the mental asylum. Finally, she does something.
And all of a sudden, she knows ninjutsu.
Yes,
martial arts master, right there. There you go.
Oh, God, that
twist. We have fun. Dog Soldier says it's gaining momentum via social media. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Love it.
Okay, cool.
And HBO Max could produce a feature film finale if it wanted. Netflix did it for Sense8, and they're doing it again for Wu Assassins. Yeah.
Now I'm confused with your favorite show of all time, Wu Assassins. I'm confused. Is there going to be another season and then a movie to end it, or they're just making a movie to end it?
From what I've heard, and Eco Waste really said this on Scott Adkins' Art of Action, where they said, we're going to be making a Wu Assassins movie. So it's replacing season 2, if I believe that's right. And
sure.
It's like a Wu Assassins movie, and I think it's the second one to follow up, but I did not really pay attention because I was a friend actually brought it up, Louis Tan's filming this, because she's a huge fan of Louis Tan. I am. And she goes, she said, he's filming something in Bangkok. And I was I took a look at it. I was like, oh yeah, he's filming with, or he's with Eco Waste and Juju Chan. I'm like, it can't be a is it Wu Assassin season 2, or is it a movie? And the next thing you know, they announce it later. I'm like, oh, it's a Wu Assassins movie. Great.
It's probably, well, you know what? It's probably a good thing, because then they could just end it.
Right?
maybe since it's just one movie project, they can add more budget to it. Maybe they can give it a kick-ass finale. I don't know. Same thing with Warrior. I mean, I'd rather have a movie than no season 3 at all.
Yeah. I actually thought about that too. If they did a film, they really have to almost kind of really make it not just a bleaker ending, but it could just be something that we know that all the main characters Assam, Youngjun, and Mai Ling could have this ending where, okay, this is what's happening in the US now. Let's try and be at peace with this if we can, because this was all leading up to the Chinese Exclusion Act being actually being implemented in the US history, especially in the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lee says Wu Assassin's Fistful of Vengeance is in production as a feature film. A second season has not been confirmed, but could be. They should just make a movie and call it a day.
Yeah, really.
And with a title like that, Wu Assassin's Fistful of Vengeance, this better be the most badass movie. This better be fucking kick-ass. This better
no. It should be Wu Assassins Iceman 3.
Iceman. Dude, Iceman made me mad.
It made you mad. It made me I said, how do you fuck up a movie in 5 minutes? It did that in 5 minutes. I'm just this going.
Do you remember the scene with Donnie Yen in the toilet?
Oh God!
Can you explain?
He's just next thing you know, oh, cops are coming after me. I gotta go take a shit. That's literally the shot. I kid you not.
But did he when he took a shit did he take a shit to escape and then launched him out of the toilet? And I mean, he's outside. Remember, he appeared up outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, was his shit so powerful that it launched him? I don't even know what happened in that scene.
I don't even know what happened either. I just went why am I still watching this?
And I know the movie. I know those movies filmed in 3D, but I get it. But
we have 3D shit.
3D shit, right? But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, because that's what we all martial art Donnie Yen fans want to go see. We want to see Donnie Yen using CGI weapons that's not even there. Yeah, woo!
Oh God,
scoring points.
like
Dude, I think that's what happened. He took a shit so badass that it launched him out of the outhouse, and he ended up on the hill looking at the bad guys. I hate that movie. I hate it.
I hate it too, and it took me a realization when the Raging Fire trailer came out. I was like, we went through 10 years of questionable Donnie Yen movies, minus the side fact, like literally after Yip Man 2, and then I was like, okay, what was actually a good like Donnie Yen movie after Yip Man 2? I was like, Wuxia, Kung Fu Jungle.
Yeah.
Anything else? Like, nope, we won't talk about Special ID. Okay, we won't talk about Iceman. Nope, we won't talk about Triple X3. Oh, God. What about Rogue One? He was in there for like 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, okay. What about this film? I was like, did you like Hitman 3? I was like, when you really look at it, geez. When you look at Hitman 4, it's like, it's the way I say that Hitman 3 and 4 is like the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. It's like, yeah, we made Hitman 3 for this. Did you like it? You liked it, right? Yeah. Okay, here's Yipman 4. We're sorry. We're sorry.
And I really liked. I mean, I was really entertained by Yipman 4, and I love the fight with him and Scott Adkins. But it's not my favorite though.
No, like I expected, like especially when you have Scott Adkins and Donnie Yen, both known for their kicks and everything else. Definitely, I would want to see them in a modern contemporary, like doing what they do best.
Yeah.
And just like, yep, go all out. And the fact that Raging Fire is coming out and gives me a little bit hype. It is questionable for me on the side fact. It's like, yeah, Donnie Yen made all these films in this 10-year span. But
you didn't like Big Brother? You didn't like just kidding. I'm kidding. I still didn't like Enter the Fat Dragon? Come on. You know, I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen the
I've seen them both, and it was like watching Big Brother. My friends and I, we had to watch Big Brother, and I was just like sitting there going like, this is all like Donnie Yen has to be the end all be all. Like I understand that, but it's like I could save your kids for their education. I'm like, okay,
it was ridiculous.
And then here's Enter the Fat Dragon. I was like, okay.
Some people like it, some people hate it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to buy it. Maybe if I could watch it for free. I don't know if I'd buy it though. But
yeah,
I know it's supposed to be comedy. It's supposed to be stupid, but
it is supposed to be a comedy.
I love the. I know this is not a remake, but I love the Into the Fat Dragon with Sammo Hung.
Yes, like,
that is fantastic.
Yes, at least that one had a proper story, and you have just Donnie Yen in a fat suit.
Yeah,
and Into the Fat Dragon. I was just like, unless it goes full Christian Bale and just goes fucking full Dick Cheney and just decides I'm gonna still do all the fight scenes. Even though I have gout, I'll still do the fight scenes. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and that was part of the comedy. I'm not saying Into the Fat Dragon with Sammo's high art, but that was like, but that was part of the comedy was that as big as Sammo is, he's doing like the pitch perfect Bruce Lee impression.
Yes.
And he's like so good at it. And he even says in the movie, like, Bruce Lee's my hero. You know, it's not like I'm Bruce Lee. He's just he's just a huge fan. But when a movie has Sammo Hung as, you know, doing his Bruce Lee impression, kicking the shit out of a Bruceploitation star.
Yes.
In the movie, I was like, oh my God, is this happening right now? This is hilarious. This is the greatest thing ever. And then kicking his ass and then standing over him and saying, you are a disgrace to my hero.
Yeah.
That was that was a shot at all those Bruceploitation.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like how
I'm not dogging the fan base of Bruceploitation. I like a few, but I'm not dogging it. But it's just like, that's fucking brilliant.
Definitely. Especially like how like Bruce Lee influenced a lot of how martial arts films are now, especially they make you think of the way certain things. Lee,
now I really don't want to watch Into the Fat Dragon now.
And the fact
that was Donnie Yen in Into the Fat Dragon, does he have a scene where his shit propels him out of the outhouse? And
no, but we do
3D?
have a Japanese actor like doing shit jokes because he's farting all the time, and I'm just like, great,
It's funny.
Wong Jing, the director, Wong Jing, yes,
Wong
good
Jing.
on you. Like, but which is why I
I'm starting to feel Kung Fu Jungle's underrated now.
It is definitely underrated because it does a good throwback to the kung fu movies back in that time, especially like doing old styles like Hungar and kicking styles, and it's really interesting. And which is why, like, you look at Wuxia and Kung Fu Jungle were the only like good Donnie Yen films out of that whole 10 years of
like I like parts of. I mean, when you compare it to Big Brother, I like parts of Special ID, but it's like only because it gives you that fantasy of Donnie Yen doing the live action video game.
Sleeping Dogs,
right?
Which is like it. Whenever someone says, "Yeah, he's doing Sleeping Dogs live action movie," I was like, "You already did that with Special ID."
Right?
Do we need a Sleeping Dogs movie? I don't. I never asked for a Sleeping Dogs movie. I'm fine with the video game. I don't need a Sleeping Dogs live action movie. I don't need one. Like,
are we even going to do that now? Are we still? Is that still happening?
I'm not even sure. It's like a lot of like just how like certain video game movies are actually coming out too. It's just I remember watching the trailer for Mortal Kombat. I was like, I should feel the hype. It is the one and only. And if I'm wrong, if anyone could prove me wrong, like, is the one and only hard rated R video game adaptation that is coming out so far. Because
the other properties.
Yeah, because Max Payne was supposed to be like rated R, but they made that PG-13. Sleeping Dogs is happening. Okay, thank you, Lee. But
Kyle is really excited about it, as you can tell.
like, like, honestly, I will get into like one video game adaptations if I ever do it one day. Is Rainbow Six. Honestly, like, especially to make like a proper trilogy based on what has happened in these past 4 years.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all. Hey, you got my support, my friend.
Yeah.
Any live action video game adaptations you do, you got my support.
No, I appreciate that.
Your shit. I like. You're on the same page as me in terms of what movies you like. You said Killzone, yes.
Oh,
fuck Iceman.
Yes. Yes.
So anything you do from now on, man, I got your back. I'm gonna be supporting.
I appreciate that, Preston, man.
Action movie, martial arts, whatever the fuck, horror, it's all good. The Movie Dojo Army and Samurai Guy will support Kyle Master Wong.
Because they're all named Master Wong.
That's it. You gotta change your name now, man. Every time you come on here, you got to put in the next time you come on the show, Kyle Master Wong.
What do you think of Ninja Assassin?
I'm older than Kyle, so I might be different. But Kyle, go ahead. You go first, and then I'll go.
It was. I kind of wish the CGI was not over the top, too. Right. And that, like, there was like so many good elements in it, but something's still off about that film with me. Like, here's the thing: like, every Saturday before lockdown, my friends and I, we literally like watched all these movies that we were hyped for, and then so we would watch a bad movie and then watch a good movie right after. So a good portion of them were like all those type of movies. Like Ninja Assassin was the bad one, and then what's it called? And then we would watch a good Jackie Chan movie, a good Jet Li movie, a good just any good movies, and just to wash the palette off. But Ninja Assassin is still in that weird teeter-totter of like, this could have been good, but it's just weird because like, you're supposed to be a ninja, and yet here you are just doing this weird kind of thing. And especially when you kill someone in a fucking laundromat and you just leave it all there to see for someone.
So no, I get your side of it. I totally get it. Brandon's, he's got your support. Rainbow
you,
Six
Brandon.
movie. He's got your support. So when I finally got around to watching it, I refused to see it in the theater because I was like, I didn't know what to think of it. And then I heard horrible things about it. Everyone hates it. I was like, oh, tons of CGI blood. Oh, it's the worst. And I'm not a big fan of CGI blood, but I understand.
Yeah.
I understand for budget reasons if you have to.
Yeah.
I get it. But so here we go. Asian movie enthusiasts in the house. And it just has too many shots of CGI weapons to slice people in CGI mush. Okay.
Yeah.
So I totally understand the hate for all that. I get all the hate for that. So I went in to watch it expecting the worst ninja film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That's what I went into to watch.
Yeah.
And then before I watched that, I heard from the director that before he made the movie, he's a huge anime fan, and he's a huge ninja exploitation fan. So we're talking ninja exploitation from the 80s.
Yes, like Into the Ninja.
And there's a lot of people that like those movies, and there's a lot of people that hate that era. They only go to Japan for their ninja, for the real ninja shit.
Yes,
they hate the American ninja shit. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. To each his own, apples and oranges, right?
Yeah.
But it was a love letter for ninja exploitation films of the 80s. And he loved anime and was a big fan of how the blood would come out and shoot out in movies like Ninja Scroll and whatnot.
Yeah.
So he wanted to try to do that, whether for better or for worse. That's what he was trying to do. Was he wanted the blood spurts and the gore to look like anime.
Yeah.
Now, 80% of people probably think it doesn't work, right? But I kind of forgave it a little bit because not knowing from his side, oh, that's what he was trying to do. Not just, okay, we're lazy and we don't have effects for real blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, it's not great, but I can kind of forgive it a little bit because that's where he was going for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually a fan of both. I love the Shinobi no Mono movies from Japan. I love the Shadow Hunters. I love, the Sonny Chiba shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I love the real ninja shit in Japan, the real authentic shit in Japan. But I'm an 80s kid, so I kind of love the ninja exploitation stuff. I grew up with the ninja exploitation stuff first before I was introduced to the real shit as I got older.
Yeah.
So you have cheesy but fun popcorn movies, unrealistic as all fuck.
Yeah.
Unrealistic. I mean, Revenge of the Ninja has two ninjas on the rooftop in the daytime in the city so everyone can see them fight.
Yeah.
If you're young watching it, you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing of all time. Right? I even have the cheesy as all fuck TV show, The Master, which was
with Lee Van Cleef, right?
Yes, with 95-year-old Lee Van Cleef, who was stunt doubled to, it's so cheesy, but I have fun watching it, right? So I get the hate for ninja exploitation of the 80s films. I get it. I totally understand, but I'm a fan of it, right?
Yeah.
American Ninja movies, I'm a fan of all that cheese.
Yeah.
Right? At least the first two American Ninja movies are the best.
Yeah, because it went off into someone else, like Michael Dudikoff is not even in the rest of them, right?
Yeah, it's like it came back. I think he came back in the fourth one as a small part. I like David Bradley as a martial artist, but it was weird. Still a fan of those, even though they're cheesy. The first two are the best, but there's there's tons of you have the Pray for Death with Shokasugi and all that. So I was like, holy shit. Shokasugi's in this fucking movie.
Oh yeah, he was like the master.
He's the master. I was like, dude, this is kind of fucking cool. Me being a fan of those old school cheesy ninja films. Ninja 3: The Domination is so ridiculous. It is one of the most ridiculous ninja movies you'll ever see in your life. It's hilarious. Yeah. It's hilarious. Right? And so I'm like, I'm first of all, I'm liking the fight choreography. I'm liking the way people are moving. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's weird because with all the CGI weapons, especially at the fight where he's, Rain is doing all this.
The chain whip and everything. Yeah.
And coming at the screen like that.
Yeah.
It was almost like the movie was supposed to be filmed in 3D.
3D, yeah.
It's weird, but I don't think it was.
No, I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I was just like, why does it feel like there should have been 3D with that coming out? But it never did.
It's weird. But yeah, generic plot. You've seen it a billion times.
Yes.
But I kind of like the aspect of a ninja going rogue
Yes.
It's going against the grain, and then you get a little bonus fight with Shokasugi at the end.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pure turn your brain off popcorn entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But I get the hate. I totally understand the hate for it.
Like I said, it's just I never like it or hate it, and I never teeter on it.
Right?
Yeah, it's just in the middle of like I still don't know what it is. But the fact that you actually like told the history of it with the director having these influences of the ninja exploitation films and the animes that really overshot the blood, I was like, okay, now I understand that. And it's still teetering of like, do you like this or hate this?
I'm not going to change your mind.
no, all good. Like
it's coming from my perspective, how I viewed the movie.
But all I can say is that's why I like about when we discuss, like me and my friends, and now you and I discuss about films. It's like, what do you think of this film? It's like I don't know how I feel about this, and then like I'll bring some history behind it, and you're bringing some history behind it. I was like, oh, that's how it is.
Lee, this is the truth. This is my favorite ninja movie of all time.
Ninja Movable Heart.
It's the greatest ninja movie ever made. Yeah. Oh man, if you ever want to see me angry, watch this review I had of the when I reviewed this movie. Check it out when you get bored later. And just puzzled. It's very rare. I'll give a movie 0 stars.
Damn,
very rare.
Honestly,
this movie made Ninja the Assassin, or whatever. Ninja Assassin. Excuse me. Yeah. Look like fucking Warrior Season 2. That's how bad. Ninja the Movable Heart. And it has nothing to do with being a low budget. It has nothing. I can forgive low budget. It's fine. But when you see the fight scenes, dude, oh my God.
God.
You know how we were goofing around, shadow boxing each other?
Yeah.
That's better than all fight scenes in the
oh, jeez.
We weren't even touching each other.
Yeah. All I can say is the one movie that I'll never forgive is fucking Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I'll never forgive that fucking film. I actually went to theaters and saw that fucking film. Not only is it dark, it has like this weird fucking like, oh yeah, there's this teen drama, and then there's this soldier lady coming back from
Dawson's
the war.
Creek.
It was Dawson's Creek shit, and then let's throw Alien vs. Predator in. And I was like, why?
Yeah,
this makes no sense, and I fucking hated it. And I knew right after that film, every Alien and Predator movie would just go down the tubes, and I was like, way to go, you fucked it up for everyone.
Yeah. And here's the question though. If I was forced to sit down with my eyelids taped open,
like literally like this,
and I had to watch Alien vs. Predator Requiem uncut, unrated version, it's a little bit more gore. That or The Predator, I don't know.
Oh God,
about it. That might be difficult to choose.
Like I wanted
to pick The Predator because there's comedy in it.
I want to
I hate. I like parts of it.
Yeah,
I like parts of it, but I can't. It's fascinating. I always bring up The Predator and I always bring up Alien Covenant, and it's fine if you're a fan of both. That's fine. I'm not judging you. But it's the last two movies of those two franchises basically shit on the myths and lore of both franchises. That's amazing that both of them did that for both franchises.
And that's why I really hated the fact that Alien vs. Predator Requiem did, and the side fact that the Predator just like did whatever it did. Then I could forgive Prometheus, but I'll never forgive Covenant for being that dumb. I'll never forgive Covenant for being that dumb. And then here's another thing. If you guys support this, like, if I ever did a Predator film, how about we see a Predator film in the Predator's perspective?
Oh,
like
that would be dope.
And I remember talking to like a director that did that. I think wrote for WALL-E.
Okay.
And he, I asked him like, how did he approach writing WALL-E? Because that film had zero dialogue almost.
Yeah.
That really had zero dialogue, and I seriously thought like, what? And someone posted this a long time ago stating, if they wanted to do hybridization, they should have done something like from that fucking video game Predator Concrete Jungle. I was like, there's a prime example of how to make Predator an actual main character.
Dude, you're right.
Like,
have you seen the plot synopsis for the new Predator movie coming?
Like I saw it, and I'm like, I read it and I was just like, I'll support it if it gets done, but you know what? I don't. I
You're not
don't
excited.
I'm not excited because it's like it's the same story, just it's basically sad to say, Ghostbusters 2016. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a side fact that there you have it. This. Whereas if you want to make the revitalization of a property, try and make it like this, where now it's time to see it from the Predator's perspective. And I even said, like, if I ever get a chance to do that, and they said, hey, do you want to try and revitalize this franchise with it? It's like, okay, give me a Predator film, give me an Alien film, and give me an Alien versus Predator film to actually all lead together into one trinity, and then literally, and then on top of that, I will put Covenant, the Predator, and Alien versus Predator Requiem on the fucking monitors. And if the producers like say, "Hey, Kyle, we say that you shouldn't do this," I'm like, "Hey, you guys made this. You guys made this happen. You guys basically buried the franchise. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all." So no, I'm not. Let's see. An entire movie from the Predator's perspective would be probably 2 hours of objects moving in thermal vision. No, it's not that. Like, the way I say it is more or less like, try and make it from how, like, so Predator Concrete Jungle, you have a Predator that literally lost all his honor when getting found out, and then he tries to destroy the whole city, but he survives it. So his clan comes down, picks him up for the disgrace, but somehow on Earth, the people that survived it literally take his technology and use it to build a better future. And then next thing you know, the Predator is exiled to a planet for like hundreds of years. They finally pick him up, and he's still surviving with only the tools that he has. And now his clan just says, "Hey, you left your shit there. Get it back and destroy every single one of these motherfuckers." And then next thing you know, he comes down, and he only takes like literally his actual tools that he has, not energy based, an actual old school hunter with just blades, his hands, and everything else. And that's
wasn't that a Sega Genesis game?
It was an Xbox 360,
Xbox 360 game,
PS2 game, and not only that would be my like. And I've been doing this binge of like watching the death of, or what was it, the story of the Superman Returns movie, or not Superman Returns, like where it was supposed to be Tim Burton's movie. Like, I would do the Kevin Smith thing. I was like, I'm gonna throw this in. So if I wanted, I would have like a fucking 7-foot tall fucking Predator, like the fucking Beast one, all fucking taken over by the humans, just like really fucked up. And I would put a fucking proper Pred alien in it, and they would say like, and next thing you know, right at the end, leads up to a human hybridized Predator character.
Dude.
And that would be like,
you got another supporter from the army.
Yes. Thank you.
But
Thank
dude,
you, Dog Soldier.
Think about it. You just mentioned you're all down to do a live action adaptation of a video game. You know, there you go.
One day, like, if it happens, I'll be like, holy shit.
Dude, the title is fucking dope. Predator Concrete Jungle, son. Yes. That sells tickets right there.
Yeah. And the fact that, if anyone wondered, like, how would I lead all that into an Alien vs. Predator film? Well, I would do another Predator film based on the original comic books that actually had, like, so, like, a Predator and his clan actually, like, freaking, like, what's it called? Gets kicked out of his clan because he denounced, like, this one Predator youngling killing human children and this whole, like, human clan. Right. So he tries to set out to actually basically go after his clan with this other human, Yukio, who's out there. And then next thing you know, they finally get the clan, but they're on this planet, and you find out the planet, which actually, what's it called, is actually inhabited by the aliens. So that leads into the Alien films, and you find out where Yukio came from, and then next thing you know, all that happens. So that's my own film style. I know there's gonna be like a lot of fucking loyalists of like saying you're screwing up the Alien vs. Predator franchise. I was like, yes, but no,
it's already fucked up.
It's already fucked up
in Hollywood movieverse right now.
Yes, exactly. At least this is like basically going back to like, why did Predator and Alien really make us scared, but also excited back then in the 80s and 90s. And this is me like saying, this is how I would approach it because I want to see it like this.
Right.
And like, we're not getting that anymore. It's just like, all right, let's recycle this, let's recycle that. And it's like, nothing wrong with the Marvel films, nothing wrong with the DC films. I could go on and on of like with that. And like, now that Zack Snyder actually has his cut, I'm like wondering, I kind of want to see what was Shane Black's day cut of the Predator was like, because there's actually stuff out there.
That makes me more angry about the movie is that you actually see behind the scenes stills of a group of other Predator badasses were down there. They team up with the mercenaries to go and I'm like, dude, how could you cut that out?
Yeah.
How could you cut that out? They even show this shot of when they're all in this tank or truck or something.
Yes.
See a shot in the trailer. They used it for the trailer.
Exactly.
The mercenaries on a minigun shooting something
in the day. And I'm just like, where is
that? I can't believe it. I you know, not that a director's cut would have. The movie probably still would have sucked, but still, it makes you wonder, like the original vision before it got fucked up by the studio. They cut everything. Like, what happened? But I got the pitch. This is the pitch for you right here.
Okay.
I want you to make this is the ultimate Predator movie right here. Predator versus Sophie. Are you hunting, Predator? Stop hunting! Stop hunting!
I was waiting for that to come up. I was like, the next thing, he'll just be like looking at her and just like, and then it's just gonna be 2 hours. It's just like,
that's it. He's gonna hold his head down like this while she's yelling at the whole movie.
And then next thing, right at the end, Sophie's choice.
Ever. The best movie of all time. Oh god.
I was waiting for that.
Kevin, you just arrived. Thanks for showing up, man.
Hey.
We're probably gonna wrap it up in a little bit.
Oh, good. Don't worry.
I don't want to keep Kyle too much, man.
No, don't worry, man. I'm enjoying myself. We're like,
you're enjoying yourself. Good.
We actually talk about so much about Warrior. We're talking about other movies we get shit on, or actually, what can be better? Like,
right?
Like, it's a thing that I always, as a filmmaker for myself, like I want to make films much more better than what they were. Like, and like, what's it called? I kind of wish that I liked Justice League, but next thing I know, it's like, yeah, here's Joss Whedon's Justice League, here's Zack Snyder's, and I was like, you know what? It's been 4 fucking years, and I'm just like, there we go, here it is, there we go, great. Yeah. Restart. What did I miss?
Hopefully it's good. You know, fingers crossed. You know, hopefully it's good. I mean, it's the Snyder version. I always say the Snyder version.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be as great as people want it to be, but it's obviously already better than the Whedon version.
Yeah.
Because you know you're getting scenes with more character development. You know you're getting scenes with more action. You know you're getting the amazing score from Junkie XL.
Yeah.
That one track I heard blew my mind. And that horrible Danny Elfman, you only got 1 week to score the Whedon version. That was one of that might be Danny Elfman's worst score he's ever done.
He's like, this is just a day for me. There we go.
Yeah,
take that.
Might have been a week. Might have been a day. Well, so already there's improvements.
Like, all I could say is the one comic book adaptation that I really liked was 2012's Dread.
Yeah,
literally
27x40 poster right there.
Oh, beautiful! I actually bought the Blu-ray twice. I bought the normal one that came out, and then finally it came out with a steelbook. I was just like, I'm buying this. I don't care. I love this movie. I love it so much.
One?
Yeah, no, not the 4K one. Like right before when 4K was becoming the rage. But
okay.
Other than that, like I was happy that I got it because I was like, it made me hyped back then when I was a little kid. Sadly, yes, there was the Stallone version. I was like, I want to see this. I was like, I don't know why I don't like this or hate this. There's so much cheese. And then next thing,
no.
god, that joke is never ending. And then
I hate to say this. When I went to go see the movie, I didn't even know it was a comic book movie or it was a comic book character.
Yes.
So when you get the opening credit titles and they're showing the different comic books, it's like, oh my god, this is a comic book character. So it's the third act is where the movie fails for me.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's what for me. I know it's different for everyone, but for me, it's kind of become a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yes, it is.
It's good trash, if you want to call it that.
Definitely.
I was so happy with Dread 2012, but the thing is, I'll be honest, the trailer fucking sucked.
I know, definitely.
I was embarrassed for Dread 2012 coming out. I was like, dude, this looks terrible.
I know.
But marketing was one of the reasons this movie failed.
Yeah, the trailer for that film was like so bad. Like I knew what they were going for, and I knew they were giving off all the good shots. And I remember a long time ago, right before the film was coming out, I was so hyped for it, seeing Carl Urban in the whole getup and everything else, that I was just like, okay, I'm hyped for this. They actually went in a realistic approach, using South Africa as like the backdrop too, like because District 9 was like such a big thing too.
Yeah,
promoting South Africa, which Warrior is filmed in. Like they have a proper crew and everything else. And I just remembered like somehow someone leaked the script, and I remember reading it, and I was like sitting there reading through everything, and I was like, okay, good thing he does not say I am the law. But when he finally said it, I was like, oh shit, this is how it needs to be said. And I was like, I can't wait to see this. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, the trailer showed a lot. This is a really bad trailer, but I'm gonna see this. I remember getting a sneak preview to it, and I sat there and I was so giddy. And I was like, this is beautiful. Like it had the Paul Verhoeven violent action style.
Yes.
It had the right vibe. It was just a simple story. And like I said, great soundtrack by Paul Morgan, and like just everything was just perfectly done. And I just knew that like it was just a simple storyline, and like they didn't have
a budget movie.
Yeah,
and it was still done very well. The only reason it cost a lot was because they did the whole 3D thing.
Yes,
which I wish they didn't do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed watching it in that 3D they had.
Yes,
the slow-mo scenes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't get me wrong. It was cool, but it's just like I would have wished it would have been more successful. But the good news is, because of badasses like us in the Movie Dojo army that's watching, there's a gigantic cult following for the film.
Oh yes, definitely.
And they're begging. They're just like, sequel or give us a TV show on Netflix.
Yes, definitely. Like
I hope we get something.
I definitely hope that too, because like that film was really well done, and I want to see how they would integrate a lot of what the Cursed Earth was, especially from that universe, not the Stallone universe, but the actual Dread 2012 universe of like how the Cursed Earth, and then definitely wanted to see how they would approach the Dark Judges. Like everyone wants to see that Dark Judges of Judge Fire, Judge Mortis, and Judge Death. Like I want to see all that. Everyone's asking me about the Mortal Kombat trailer now. Oh god.
Well, you already talked about it.
Yes, I talked about it. I have seen the trailer.
Yeah. You saw the red band.
I saw the red band, and I just it's just up in the air with me still, because of like how like I said, Raging Fire trailer hype, but I'm so questionable about Donnie Yen's like past 10 years. But
there's nothing wrong with being questionable. It's fine.
Yeah, like the reason why I have to compare those two trailers is because Raging Fire is Benny Chan's last film that he's ever directed.
Yeah,
and he really did a great job with all his films. And this one is like the quintessential. When you watch it, and I had to look at two trailers because the original like Mandarin trailer had this really polished look. I did feel the hype still when you had like the Beethoven score with it and everything else, and yet it has like this really polished look. Like you look at the trailer, it's like very, very clean. But then you look at this new trailer, and I even asked my DOP that I work with, like, there's a distinct difference. And he's like, yeah, there's a difference in color correction with this new trailer, but it still feels like that quintessential 80s and 90s Hong Kong action feel to it. And just how like everything you expect in a Hong Kong martial arts action film. The story could be completely simple or anything else.
Yeah.
It really had it all right there. I look at
Yeah.
the Mortal Kombat trailer, and I'm like I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I'm feeling it, but at the same time, just it was questionable because I'm like, okay, you just showed me everything that could or could not be right, and I know you're giving us all the action, giving us you're really a what's it called? You're really hammering in all the red band and
Right.
R-rated materials. Yes, we don't see all of it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's you shouldn't try and like spoil everything as much because like
There's probably a lot more.
yeah.
There's probably a lot more. I mean, I'm sure Kung Lao's going to slice someone.
Yeah, with his
Like,
hat.
you know, we're gonna see a lot more. It looks like Jax is about to smash him with
Oh
the head.
yeah, definitely going throughout. Like Jax is definitely gonna use his arms to rip someone off,
You know.
spine his head in.
But for shits and giggles and comedy purposes, when you get free later and you're bored, watch my trailer. Watch our trailer reaction to it.
I definitely did, and I was
laugh.
like,
You're gonna laugh because I'm honest. How I feel about the first two movies, we build it up before the reaction. But Asian movie enthusiast says we're going to end up seeing too much of Godzilla versus Kong in the trailer. I haven't, Eric. I have not watched. I've only seen the first Godzilla versus Kong trailer. I haven't watched anything else. I know they're showing. This is why, because they're showing tons of shit, extra shit,
and especially like the aggressive marketing that they approach so many times, especially when the film's coming out in less than a month. Like I totally understand that because everyone's stuck at home, depending on where you guys are, where everyone is and whatnot in terms of lockdown procedures. But they're really pushing that, especially if theaters are open. So I technically understand that from that standpoint because I really try and push whatever stuff that I had at the time. Like I try and get as much marketing material out with certain trailers that I have or my shorts or anything else like that. And it's like, yeah, if it's coming out right here, okay, try and push it here, push it here, push it here. And it's really, really that aggressive marketing that gets people like, oh yeah, we heard this so many times, so it's time to see it. Like that's why everyone saw Independence Day as much as like they were excited, and now it's like we finally saw the White House explode.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of there's nothing wrong with being, you know, apprehensive and like, you know, it looks, the Mortal Kombat trailer looks good, but I got concerns. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
People get stupid when they attack people for that. It's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with being concerned just because someone's not as excited as other people.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. Like everyone go nuts over everything. But I think a lot of people are positive about the Mortal Kombat trailer, especially because we got to remember this is what we used to have. Suckers!
Oh god! Someone actually revealed that was a rough cut of the whole film was a rough cut. I read somewhere. Lee, tell me if someone actually did state that the whole film was a rough cut, and I was like, they just released it as is because audiences were just like saying, "Yep, the test audience says yes, we love this," and they released it as is.
No way!
Yeah.
Wow, that makes a little bit more sense.
Like I'm like, really? That's why the VFX is crap and all this stuff? Like, no way.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of late rush because I think and that might be the case. It might be true. It kind of makes sense if it is, but I'm going with the other half because this movie literally came out the next year after the first Mortal Kombat. It came out like next year or the year after. Like it was literally like, make a sequel, go.
And I remember like growing up, like ready and hyped to see Mortal Kombat 1, and then when Mortal Kombat 2's trailer, I was like, okay, I'm definitely seeing this, and I was like. And I think you said it like in one of the movies, like, what did we watch? Your father's like,
yeah. Like, again, when you're bored and you got free time, check out our "Is It Really That Bad" episode. We do Tekken and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, so you'll laugh at that too. But but that's so funny, man. That's wow. If that's true, that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
I know, right? It's so weird that it's like. It's a rough cut? Oh my god! You mean there's gotta be a better film? Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the effects could have been better, but you still had that type of fight choreography. We still had Raiden with Party City wig.
Party City wig, and then right to Billy Idol hair. And then
poor James Remar.
yeah,
I like James Remar, but it looked like he did not want to be there.
no, like
This is
definitely.
Oh, what fun! We're having a blast here.
Yeah.
Lee says on Twitter, confirmed it. I still don't buy it. I don't buy it, man. What could they have improved though? Think about it. If they took more time with it, because all the choreography, everything was already filmed. The only thing they could have improved on was the CGI.
The CGI, and
that's it. But we still would have had Party City Raiden, who didn't give a fuck. We still would have had the horrible dialogue. We still would have had all that horribleness.
Oh god, just how Kitana delivers. Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die. I'm just like, okay, yes. I'm already dying. I'm already dying from all this acting.
And Sub-Zero just showed up and made a bridge and left.
Literally, just like
made a bridge and then said, "Peace out, I'm out."
Exactly. Same thing with Nightwolf. Nightwolf did the same thing.
This is Mortal Kombat cameos.
Yes.
Peace out, Scorpion suckers, and then left.
Yeah. Like that's where I try and say.
Sub-Zero should have came back at the end of the movie and fought. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
but no.
And that's where I praise the new Mortal Kombat actually focusing on the story between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, from what I've heard, for the first half. And I'm like, okay, that's actually a good thing. And next thing you know, whatever the feud is, you're going to build the tournament around it. Okay, that'd be interesting to see. But honestly, I definitely interested in seeing how they portray it now. Unless they want to go with the Mortal Kombat 11 idea. It's like, yeah, this is a different timeline, where like all the other movies exist, just like how the DC movies and TV series all exist in every different aspect. I'm just like, oh my god, you're doing it. You're actually doing it. DC Universe movies are actually all exist in each different universe. Oh my god. And is Marvel doing the same thing? Yep. Here's Spider-Man. Here's Doctor Strange 2. All the Marvel films from the Fox and Sony universe could actually exist in one way. I'm like, no. Don't do it. And you know what the sad part is? I have to go on this rant right now because so many people talk about Tenet, but the wrong thing is about Tenet, spoiler alert, is the side fact that same matter cannot exist in the same space. And the only reason why I know that is fucking Time Cop. The fact that Time Cop makes more sense than fucking Tenet. I cannot.
Oh my god, did you see our video on Tenet?
Not yet. I am.
The name of the video. We just recently uploaded this last week. Mm-hmm. The name of the video is Why We Didn't Finish Tenet.
Oh god. Yeah,
it's funny. It's hilarious. One day you may go back to it, but we're not paying for it. We're watching it for free.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny you bring that up. It's hilarious.
Seeing Tenet in theaters, and I'm just sitting there going, this hurts my head. This hurts my head.
Time Cop did it better.
Yes, I'm saying that a Van Damme film made more sense about time travel. I respect Back to the Future, but when you have Van Damme says same matter cannot exist in the same space, and then fucking kicks Ron Silver to his other
Eric says other self. It makes less sense than Time Cop. I'm going to have some serious problems.
Right? Because you're sitting there going, why does Time Cop make more sense, people?
Oh god, that's too funny. That's too funny, man. Speaking of Van Damme, segue. Don't forget, Movie Dojo Army. Don't forget to check out the Versus series. That's right, Versus episode this week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. See all you guys there. We're going to be doing Van Damme film Death Warrant versus Sylvester Stallone film Lock Up. Yes, there will be one winner. There'll be one winner. So that's going to be a fun debate and discussion. And Kyle, you're always welcome, my friend. Anytime you want to come on a live stream just to talk movies, shoot the shit, you're always welcome here in the dojo.
Much appreciated.
Let me know if you want to get in on the series versus series, or is it really that bad series? That's going to be fun because I'm sure there's movies out there you like that are good, but the critics panned it.
Yes.
So hit me up, man. Like, I know you're busy. You're doing your filmmaker thing.
No, don't worry. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate everyone in the movie dojo for having me. Really appreciate all you guys, and it's great talking to all of you. I really had a great time. This was a blast.
We're on the same page. We're best friends now because we like Killzone.
We like Killzone. We hate Iceman. We hate Sophie.
But chat, keep an eye out for Night Watch, a future project coming out from Kyle. He's working on it right now. Keep an eye out for it. It may evolve into something else, but we'll keep that on the hush. Shh. But keep an eye out for Night Watch or any future projects from Kyle. He's living the dream. He's getting his feet dirty, even dirtier now, doing assistant directing for movies like Run, which is on Hulu right now. You can catch that as well. And, like I said, we're rooting for you, my friend. Any future projects, martial arts, action, live action adaptations of video games, we're all there for you. Horror, we're there. We got your back because you're a fan. You're a fan like us. Yeah. And we got to support our brothers.
Definitely. Thank you so much, everybody.
Appreciate that, my friend. I will not be getting in a fight with you because I'm going to get my ass kicked. But you're my Sifu now.
I don't beat on my children on my students. I don't beat on my students. I don't really beat on my students. I am not that type of piece of shit master to do that. I help you. I teach you whatever you need to do. I just let you go and figure it out after that. If you guys want to do anything else, it's like, okay, I'm not. But that's just me.
That's it. Fun stream.
Thank you so much.
Enjoying it. Yes, everyone's having a good time. Everyone's saying take care, Kyle.
Thank you.
Some guy from Film Combat Syndicate. You know who that guy is? Who is that?
I think his name is Lee, but thank you, Lee. Much appreciated for connecting us.
Yeah. Boom says excellent podcast. We really appreciate you guys watching and liking the video. Don't forget Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time versus episode. And don't forget to vote. You can vote too. The community tab on my YouTube channel, you guys can vote. Which one do you guys think is the best movie? And also on that Phat Samurai Guy group page, make sure if you haven't joined, make sure you guys join. You can vote there too, because I'm going to show the poll during the episode just for fun. So the Movie Dojo Army has a voice as well. That's right, because they're badasses. But until then, we're going to do this again, brother. Let me know.
Definitely. I will definitely keep you in the know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Where yet? And we see you badasses next time. Don't forget, watch Warriors 2.
Yeah. Support Caesar.
Woo! There you go.